I think I'm live. Hello, hello, Zen friends. Happy Sunday morning to you. Happy weekend. Hope you've been having an amazing weekend full of amazing moments, but they always are, right? We just don't realize it sometimes as our human character, right? But they are always amazing, but we don't have to choose that, right? All right, enough of that. Let's bring spirit in today before we get started. Glad to see everyone. Hello, hello. Uh, I'm excited as always to see what messages come through for spirit today. And yeah, let's start off. We're gonna bring in the singing bowl as we do, and we will start off just allowing that beautiful, eternal, unconditional love energy to flow down in. Imagine we're a chalice, we're a cup, and that beautiful love energy just flows down into us, filling up our being, starting with our heart and all of our emotions, going into our brain and all of our thoughts and our stories, flowing down into our energetic field, our chakras, our meridians in our body, our auras, going into our physical bodies, into all of our joints and bones and spine and blood and organs, and then filling us our entire life up and then flowing out to the world, allowing it to do what it wants to do out there to raise the vibration of the planet. So we'll do that. Something that we can do. Well, I'll hit the singing bowl like 3 times. And as we're allowing that energy to flow, if we focus in on just one thing that we're grateful for right here, right now, in this moment, and have gratitude towards Creator and the universe for that, one, of course, it immediately starts raising our love vibration to higher because it's a powerful energy, gratitude is. It also magnetizes us to receive more of what we're being grateful for and opens us up for messages too. We're in a big receiving kind of energy when we do that. So that's what we're going to do. We will start off taking a big deep breath, coming back to right here, right now, holding it for a moment. Release it when you feel comfortable. Don't, pass out on me. And then we'll begin the singing bowl. So if you'd like to join me, I'm going to take a big deep breath in. Hold. All right, beautiful. Let's begin. Beautiful, beautiful. Wow, that's a big energy today, isn't it? It gave me extra goosebumps. The moon has moved into Pisces, so there is extra connection to the spirit world the next couple days. So hopefully you're enjoying all this wonderful energy. We have Lionsgate energy that we have left over from Friday. We'll be in that for a little while. We also have, of course, the full moon in Aquarius yesterday. Um, Amplifying that energy, that will vibrate out even though the moon is moved into Pisces. That leftover energy will kind of last for a little bit. Tomorrow, Mercury goes direct from being retrograde. So all of these, I don't know how many, uh, all the planets are in we're in retrograde, almost a lot of them were. So we definitely have a moving forward energy with Mercury energy of communication and how we learn. So that will start moving forward tomorrow. And today we have this morning, um, there was like a parade of planets. I think there's like 6 planets that are lined up. So we got a lot of energy going on. Um, and we knew that already. We had that already going on, but we have even more for, energy. So it's like this year, um, as you've been probably heard everywhere, I've been talking about it forever. So much energy of change that it's like all these storms going on outside. It's like trying to understand which storm is which. Kind of gets a bit overwhelming, and I'm like, I'm just going to go inside and ground myself so I don't get struck by lightning, right? And that's important for us with all this emotional energy and uh, astrological energy of change in there. Whatever we can do to ground ourselves is for our best. Well, at least it'll make our path easier. We can run around out in the hailstorm and get hit by hail and lightning and experience it all. There's nothing wrong with that. We come here to experience the storms of life, but we can uh, lessen that if we want. So that is what we have going on, right? Well, welcome. If you're new to my channel or new to these readings, welcome. I'm brudda-zen, and we've got a great group of Zen friends full of love and great senses of humor. And I'm so grateful because those are two things that we can definitely use in this journey of humanity, right? This adventure of humanity. So there's always room for more Zen friends. So welcome. You're always welcome here. We got a great safe place here. Um, if you want to know how all the process works on the readings, it's all down in the description box of the video. Basically, donations get priority. I honor that energy exchange and step out of the free readings, dive deeper in those, meaning I pull more cards for those too. And then I return back to the readings. I'm on for 3 hours. And whatever I don't finish in the 3 hours on Sundays, I go take a break and go eat. And then I come back later and I finish out everything. So as long as you get your question out here in the chat, I will come back and complete it sometime today. I don't do that anymore. I used to do it like every day that I was live, but balance is important. Spirit, gently reminding me, and my physical body did too. You need to balance things, brudda-zen. It's always my energy, right? don't get pizza today. Yeah, no pizza for me. But we like that. You're too funny. So um if you want to make a donation, you can use the super chat down below or in the description box of the video. I do have my Venmo, CashApp, PayPal, and Square. And there's no set dollar amount, whatever you're able to give from your heart. I know that not everyone's finances or cost of living or rate of exchange all across the world, it's not all the same. So whatever you give from your heart, I know is the perfect amount. So you can do that. I do put timestamps through the chat as I'm going. And then at the end of each stream, I do pin a comment listing all the readings completed with timestamps so that you can just click on it and um, go directly to your reading. It's super cool, right? So that is what we have. I think that's everything. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I think that's enough. We are going to use the Circle of Life Tarot today. honor of the Lion's Gate, like the Lion King Disney movie. They have the Circle of Life is the song, right? So we're using Circle of Life Tarot today. And then if you make a donation for your first donation, you also get a fortune cookie, and we'll be reading from the Journey Oracle. You'll get a Journey Oracle card as your fortune cookie. So that is how that will work. I feel like there's something else, but I don't think it's important, evidently. So we will jump in. So cheers, everybody. A little sip of coffee here this morning. We got some forest fires going on in Colorado, around Colorado where I live. And we've got we got a nice little, I have some peppermint on my little mustache here to help open my sinuses from all the smoke that we have because the wind blew it from both areas in here. But it's a nice little burning smell outside that has made it inside too because we have air conditioners on. So yum, yum, yum. So hey, everybody. Good to see everyone. Hope you're doing well. All right. So let us hear. Let me just see. One quick thing here. All right. I will give you a quick list of where we're at on donations, and then we will get into it. So we will start off with Jojo, Johanna, and then Sean G, and then Diana times 2, and then Maria P via Z PayPal. So that is what we are going to do here. So let's get into it, everybody. So thank you for being here. I'm so grateful. All right. So Johanna, look, 1221. Look at that mirroring number starting off already. That was last night. It was crazy. The amount of numerology that was happening, repeating numbers and all sorts of stuff. So it was fun. All right. So Johanna, thank you so much for your donation. Let's give that a love and a like and a happy birthday to you. So today, or happy birthday, I think, is it today or yesterday? I guess because you're on the other side of the planet, right? But happy birthday in time, wherever it may be. But as a birthday song, you heard a Nirvana song that you hadn't heard in years randomly pop into your head. Was that Mr. Cobain saying hi? I know, right? You got a connection to him. So let's take a look here and see what we've got going on here. Was this Mr. Cobain saying, hi, happy birthday? Another celebration, another year around the sun, right? All right. So we got this here. Let's see what we got here. All right. So let's see what we have. You've got the Empress card and the Eight of Swords here. So at the bottom of the deck has the Three of Swords, which is expectations equal disappointment. And I'm not feeling that this was necessarily from Mr. Cobain. I know. It sounds like something they would do, and you do have a connection with them, but I don't feel like it's them. This Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, and the bringing of some old beliefs to the surface energy feels like this was Mother Moon. It's interesting because this is not moon energy, but I feel moon energy. And with all this, it's like the full moon in Aquarius energy brought this back from the past for you. So there's something to do with the lyrics. There's something to do with expectations equaling disappointment, kind of energy that is coming in here. And it was like it was bringing it up. It was like the moon, the Aquarius moon. It's like the Aquarian energy took the lead. The moon energy helped amplify it and bring it in for you to help bubble things up from the surface. But it's like the Aquarius energy was bringing the message and the moon brought the soundtrack. So I feel like there was some reflection about life and important energy. There's definitely divine mother energy that's coming in here from the other side that was bringing in a birthday wish for you here of support and love. Let's see what their message is here. You have the Knight of Wands, which is an action energy. It's also the quest of stepping into your power. Oh my gosh. And then you have the Knight of Wands. I'm sorry, the Page of Wands. I always get that mixed up with this deck. That little helmet reminds me of a knight, but of course, the horse is the Knight of Wands. You have the Page of Wands and the Knight of Cups. So there is this quest, this celebration. And I feel like there's this within the middle between these two. It's like your quest as you go about finding your passion, finding your power over this next rotation around the sun and the self-love energy with this Page of Wands. It's like you're getting an energetic upgrade that they're offering you. And so it's like this song is a representation. It has something to do with your theme song for this next year, but I feel like you're going to have more than one, but it's part of the soundtrack of your movie this next year. And so, whatever the song was, really reflect on the lyrics, really reflect on the mental memories, the emotional memories, the energetic memories, the physical memories that are tied to the song. And it has something to do with that that's coming in here. But I like this. This is like track one of the soundtrack of your, how movie tracks that they do. And it's like, here you go. Here's the first one. And I feel like you're going to be getting like a song. I don't feel like it's like every month, but it feels like it's as you're taking each step through next year, there's a theme song that comes with it for each one. And I love that for you because of your music, uh, how important music is to you in your life too, and the expression of it. But they are definitely giving this energetic upgrade to help you move forward in your quests, both in stepping into your power and for your self-love as you raise your love vibration. So they're like giving you it's like your birthday present that they're giving you. Here is an extra upgrade of spiritual, higher vibrational energy to help. So I love that for you. So hopefully that helps and resonates there for you. And then from the Journey Oracle, let's see what card comes in here for you. And I'm not even paying attention down here if you're here. Okay. So we have going on here. All right. So you have Death and Rebirth. I like that. It's like reminding me, a friend of mine had a photo series of 4 photographs they had taken, and they had a theme for each. It started with life and this and this, and then there was death was the last one. And they gave it to me because they said, out of all my friends, I know you would appreciate this. I would freak out everyone else, but you would appreciate this because they knew of my connection to the spirit world, and that death for me is very different. I don't mourn over death. I just because I connect with spirits on the other side, I'm like, it's just like someone moving away. You can still connect with them via the phone and Skyping, and although Skype is gone now, I think, but through camera and whatever, it's like it's different relationship, but it still is a relationship. So that's what I feel like you, out of anyone, and there's a lot of you here that would look at this death card going, oh, that's cool, So the at its core, death represents the continual dying away of our former selves, the shedding of outworn identities, limiting beliefs, and the relentless grip of the ego that seeks to cling to the illusion of permanence. The coffin's descent into the earth's womb evokes the sacred return to the source, where all that has crystallized within us is composted and transmuted into fertile soil for our future becoming. When this card emerges, and this like every year is like the death of our old self, the beginning of our new self for the next rotation around the sun. When this card emerges, we may find ourselves in the midst of a profound transition or ending, a pivotal moment that demands we release our white-knuckled grasp on cherished aspects of our lives, relationships, or ways of being that have run their course. Death encourages us to embrace the profound act of surrender, allowing the natural process of decomposition and dissolution to clear the way for the seeds of our next evolution to take root. We are reminded that true transformation and growth often require us to let go of our attachments, to grieve the loss of what has been, and to make space for the emergent potentials that await their blossoming. At times, this card arrives as a catalyst for us to confront the ways in which we've been clinging to limiting narratives, stagnant patterns, or the false securities of the ego's insatiable need for control and permanence. Ultimately, death extends an invitation to surrender to the great cycle of life, death, and rebirth that permeates all of existence. For it is through the courageous act of releasing our attachments and embracing the unknown that we clear the way for the continual unfolding of our highest potentials, aligning ever more deeply with the boundless creativity and ever-renewing essence that animates the vast expanses of the cosmos. So I love that for you. For you, because it's your birthday, there's a little working with death. It says, I surrender all attachments, embracing the sacred cycle of death and rebirth that catalyzes my continual unfolding. That's like your statement. It says, reflect on areas of your life where you may resist necessary endings or cling to outworn patterns, beliefs, or identities that require release. Engage in practices or rituals that facilitate the process of letting go, such as a symbolic burial ceremonies, conscious composting, or acts of surrendering control. There's a quote here from Tara Brock that says, when we have awakened to the darkness, we can no longer be led by the blind. Ooh, interesting. I love that. I can just picture you doing a fake burial outside and people going, oh my God, did she kill someone? And she finally snapped. But I love that for you. So that's what they have for you, Jojo. Happy birthday again. I appreciate your donation and I hope you're having a good time. All right. Hey, everybody. Hey, Deb. Twin V, Sun and Moon. Hello, hello. Livier Vagara. Hello, Maria. Hey, everybody. Hot Sun, everyone. I want to say hi to everyone, but I know we're here for readings, so we'll keep going here. All right. So, Sean G, you are up. We got 2409 for you. Let me grab this here. There we go. So, thank you for your donation via the CashApp. And we'll do that. Let's see what we've got here. So you wanted guidance for the week. All right, let's take a sip of the coffee here. So let's see what we got going on here. I feel like I dreamt about New York City last night. I don't know why that just came back to me, but interesting. Okay, let's see what we got here, Sean. All right, so for next week, you have 5 cards, and you have on the bottom of the deck the 5 of Swords, which is an interesting energy. The 5 of Swords is like this dance between the head and the heart that can be a battle. Um, it can be a line dance. It can be, that's funny. I didn't use that one yet. Or it can be, a very beautiful waltz or something together, right? And so there is this little adventure because it feels like all five of these are connected. And these are the five swords. These are the five opportunities this next week. Don't necessarily feel like it's the 5 days of the work week, but it just feels like it flows this way. It starts off and it does flow in time here. And you end up with a giant smiley face. So that's good just to start off going. The dance between the head and the heart isn't a destructive, you know, experiences of in your face, but it's a beautiful flow kind of energy. So it starts off here, the beginning of the week. Yeah, you have the Seven of Cups. So the heart is expressing itself quite a bit here. A lot of different emotions in the beginning of the week, a lot of opportunities to be aware of what I'm feeling, allowing yourself to feel, but then once you're done, because it only takes 90 seconds for an emotion to flow through our body if we allow ourselves to feel it. If we try to stuff it or we allow our brain to grab onto it and start looping it, a belief around the emotion, then we keep feeling it, keeps reactivating and looping, right? Or it takes longer for us to go through it if we're resisting it. So I feel like the beginning of the week is flow through the emotions. You don't have to act on them, right? So if I have an emotion of heat, I don't need to smack somebody upside the head and get arrested. No, we don't need that, right? We prefer you on this side of the bars. So allow yourself to feel. I feel is an important piece for the beginning of the week, and then you go into the Lovers card. So here's emotional choice coming in. I don't feel like this is about actual relationships because um, and please let me know the air conditioner popped on. Let me know if that's too loud, if that is overshadowing, or if you can even hear it, because I will close the vent. Sorry. So it's the decision. It's the emotional decision. I get to choose what emotion I feel about a situation. I get to determine what that means for me, how I want to feel about it, about a situation. And so that is that power that comes in as you're allowing yourself to feel emotion. You move into this empowering emotional place to go, all right, I'm feeling this way about it, but is that how I want to choose to feel about it going forward? And like, no, I'm going to put a different story with a different emotional soundtrack around it to bring that in. And I like that kind of energy that comes in here. And then you do have the world card here. It's like this is kind of midweekish, which is the ending of an old cycle, the beginning of a new adventure. It is an energy of victory, of completion. And I do feel like this is a very kind of an emotional victory because you feel like things that really bugged me before, where my emotions would whoosh, I'm feel it differently now, and I'm recognizing it faster, and I'm able to change it more, and it feels like accomplished, like this energy, like you feel like you've really come a long way. Like you're like a year ago, I would be in jail because I would have taken him out. But now I'm like, meh. It's like I feel it rise, but it doesn't go to DEFCON 5 and nuclear battle with someone. It's this calmness, and I like that. I like that celebration and that identification and realization for you there. And then you move into the Ten of Wands. Yeah, I feel like the Ten of Wands toward the end of the week, you're realizing where I've been investing my energy. It's like a nudge to evaluate um, what areas of my life I'm investing all this energy into, because the Ten of Wands can be like, I have like everything feels urgent and important these days, right? So we're focusing in all that and doing all that, and it's like, crazy. I can't do this. I'm exhausted, right? But this is like realizing, okay, let me take a look at everything that I'm investing in my life, number one, it's kind of like, what is my why? What is my dream? And letting that be my compass, my true north. Are these things supporting that? Because that can help us go, that isn't really, that isn't really, that isn't really. And so we can kind of cut some things out of our life that we're investing in that really aren't supporting us. We're just doing it because out of habit, or because, well, other people think I should do this. But we're like, no, I don't need to do that. Then we take what is left over and we have three buckets. What is important to me and urgent to me is bucket one. What's important to me but not urgent is bucket two. Those are things that I can put on my calendar knowing when they would become urgent. And then bucket three are the things that are saying, I'm urgent, but they're not important to you. Those go in bucket three. You don't even have to do anything with those. They'll either take care of themselves or fall away. But because they're not important to you, just because they're urgent, doesn't mean I need to invest energy into it. So once you get your prioritization list and timing, there, then you can focus on bucket one. And all the energy goes into that. And once you complete that, if you want to work on a future thing in bucket two, you can. If you complete all of that, which I know won't ever really happen because there's so much, that's important to us. But if we get all that and we're bored, we can always go to bucket three and go, what do I want to do out of here? But we never have to touch bucket three. So I feel like this is like the advice for towards the end of the week is to really evaluate, where am I investing energy? What's truly important to me, urgent to me? And let me make adjustments with that. And then you end out the week with the Five of Cups. Yeah. The Five of Cups is this beautiful transformative energy, which kind of bookends out the week with emotional awareness, going into like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of next week, is this wonderful realization, like we started off, that I get to feel my emotion, but I also have the power to change it when I want. And I like that you kind of round out stepping into that and kind of putting it into, like, I feel like you have a lot of opportunities to adjust your emotional choices. Not that you have to, but you have opportunities and the ability, because the Five of Cups usually has someone standing there that has sorrow and mourning over the spilt cups. And then behind them are the two cups of power of choice, like the Lover's card. So it's like, okay, I can choose this and how I want to do that or not, right? So I love that for you. I feel like that's what they want you to know for this week. And we'll grab you your fortune cookie here for the journey and see what else they want you to know. So I like it. I like it. Yeah, and if anyone is here, let me know if you guys can hear the air conditioner. If someone would let me know if it's coming through like like a hissing cat or something. I don't want, because I can just close it if it's if you guys can hear it. All right, so let's take a look here. Here we go. So, Sean G, you've got intervention. It's time for an intervention. Dun, da, da, da. Let's see what this brings in here. Card number 3, Empress energy, the number of creativity. What a surprise that you got that. Being the artiste, not a surprise. So let's see what message this brings here. So just as the tugboat asserts its influence over the ship's path, so too does the intervention card signify those pivotal events, encounters, or realizations that forcibly alter the course of our lives. Yay! These interventions may arrive as unavoidable external forces, such as sudden life transitions, upheavals, or crises that demand we adapt and evolve. Sometimes intervention, the card, manifests as a much needed wake up call or harsh reality check. We may have been existing in a state of denial, complacency, or delusion. And this card indicates that the universe is conspiring to shake us from our slumber. Yay! The disruptive change, though difficult, serves as a catalyst for our growth and expansion. And I know you're not afraid of this at all. The intervention can also represent individuals who enter our lives and challenge our perspectives or our ways of being. A new mentor, teacher, or ally may appear, encouraging us to confront certain aspects of ourselves or raise our standards. And this card reminds us to stay open to the wisdom of those who can help guide us. I feel like that's more so, excuse me, what's coming in. Like, and that makes sense with all this emotional energy. You have individuals that come across your path that give you these opportunities to question your emotional reactions versus your emotional responses to their actions or non-actions, their words or their silence, right? Says it can also come from within as a powerful spiritual awakening or a realization that shifts our worldview. A sudden spiritual insight or life-changing experience may lead us onto a new path aligned with our soul's growth. Though times of upheaval and forced change can be difficult, the intervention card offers comfort. It shows that these challenges are guiding us toward our true purpose. Even a small force like a tugboat can redirect even the largest vessels when we trust the flow of life's guidance. I love that. What a beautiful card for you. Boop, boop. Wah, wah. There you go. All right. Well, the air conditioner just shut off. So if it was being loud, of course, it just ends on your reading, Sean. So hopefully you heard all that clearly. I don't think it's that loud, but who knows? I'll have to listen later. All right. So thank you again for your donation, Sean. I appreciate that. All right. So up next, we've got Diana. You got 37. 37 is your timestamp here. Look at starting repeating numbers. Boom, boom, boom. So thank you for your dual donations, and we'll jump into that. And after we finish this, I will give an update on where we're at on donations, so everyone knows where we're at. Had a few more come in. So, all right, let's see what we have here. Diana, good to see you as well. Follow-up read. Reading on the entity. As you so brilliantly dubbed it. I love it. Give that a love and a like for your first donation here. Appreciate that. So FS and CP sharing words about family. The reading on FS for today, Monday, Tuesday, and next weekend's trip. All right. Let's take a look here. All right. All right, let's jump into FS's energy. Yeah, I know, right? They're like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's do a little cheers. Cheers, my friend. All right. So let's take a look. Reading on FS for today. Okay, yeah, there's a lot for today. 5 cards for today. 6 cards for today. There's a lot. And then let's take a look here. Monday. Okay. Tuesday. Okay. And then next weekend. And then that underneath. All right. Let's see what we got here. Goodness, right? Let me scroll down here, see if you're here. Okay. You can't hear the AC. Oh, good. Thank you so much, Deb. I will leave it on then so I don't start sweating. No, I'm just kidding. It's cooler today here in Colorado. It's like, what is it, 74 degrees out right now. That's, I think, going to be about as high as it gets today. Rainy day, nice cool. And then we get back into the 80s in a few days. But nice little cold front came through. Right, Diana. So overall, the energy that they're going through, they do have the Eight of Pentacles, which the Eight of Pentacles is an energy of putting in the blood, the sweat, the tears to see the result. And this does feel like they're very focused on job and business energy. And it does feel as if that is the thing that they revert to for the definition of their worth. It's like school when they were young. School is how they stood out and got attention. And so now in work and business, that's how they kind of try to that's the habit that they had of being that, kind of energy. So I feel like that's a big piece of what's going on with them. They're kind of hearing everybody talk, having all this stuff happen, but they're just kind of like inward. Okay, what am I going to do about this? What's next with this? This is my safe place. My comfort zone is work. And so workaholic is where they do a lot of what they return to, because that's the safe place for their inner child to be. It's like, if I'm freaking out about anything, I just focus on work and then I'm good, right? Yeah. So let's see here for today. We've got 6 cards. So let's see. We'll start. Okay, it's like a caterpillar. It's like 6 cards. We'll start with the head. The head of the caterpillar is the Three of Cups. It's an interesting energy that comes in with that because it's like I don't know, I would say like it's because it's community, it's tribe, it's family energy, and it's joy. And I feel like in a way also being amongst the characters of family, it is like a I don't, it's not like it's unhealthy, but it's a um again, it's a I'm just going to say how it's coming through. I'm comfortable in this chaos because it's what I know growing up. And so when I'm back with it, it just feels like, because the inner child goes, okay, I know this. I feel comfortable in the chaos of family. And it is. So it's like this weird joy and comfort, going, this has been fun. I always enjoy being around family drama because I can always depend on it kind of energy. So that's the head of today where they're at with all of this. We have the Five of Wands. Yeah, here's the drama energy that I was just talking about. So that is the joy with the drama. Um, and it's not necessarily a joy, it's like a false, sense of joy. And, but because it's not joy, it's really just safety kind of energy. We have the Ten of Wands, all the energy, all the burden energy that's here. Um, Let's see. I feel like the second card tells us more about that too. Yeah. The Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, this Knight of Pentacles is an energy of the quest for my worth. Okay, that makes sense. The quest for my worth. And this is the kind of that reiteration of that you know, I focus this energy with the Ten of Wands. I do um, focus all of this into my worth, which is my work, right? And so this is reinforcing what we were talking about with that Eight of Pentacles, that a lot of it is focused in on my self-worth, but um, again, I hide it and I move into this energy of focusing in on work, 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 work. What's underneath here? We got temperance and balance and the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords energy is about betrayal. It is about, um, you know, lies and um, not really so much that strong energy, but it feels like an energy of like not not telling the whole truth. So that's like what a lie is, right? Sometimes we're like, well, I told you this much, but withholding this is still kind of when you know you're leaving people with an impression. Um, it's kind of that energy. And I feel like they're trying to balance things out and not admit to things that the family brings up. And when we're talking about how they exchanged words about the family, um, you know, um, they wouldn't admit to, them that to see. Sorry, I forget the initials. Oops, there it goes. My mouse got stuck for a sec. Hold on. Why are you being difficult? Okay, there it goes. CP. So when FS was talking to CP and CP was talking about her family, she wouldn't admit that, yeah, you're right about my family. But also when they were all CP, blah, 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 they also in some ways wouldn't admit to some of the stuff or reinforce it because that in a way was reflecting on their choice about who they're with, you know. And also, like we talked about yesterday, they're bringing back how the family's all, well, they're this and they're that and they're this. And they're like, well, so are you. But of course, they wouldn't say that either. So they, of course, bite their tongue and around a lot of things and just go, oh, okay, if that's the way it feels, that's what's going on, right? So that's what I kind of feel with this energy today is where they're kind of sitting at. Tomorrow's energy, King of Pentacles, yep, they're back focusing on abundance, focusing on creating, creating income and security from the outside world, not from relationship, but from position and from abundance and that. So they're back into that tomorrow, full fledged. I'm ruling over this. This I can control. I'm back into this. Big focus on that, on growth around that, and feelings of abundance. Tuesday, we've got the Two of Pentacles. So balanced energy. I feel like they're back in their regular habits, back in their regular cycle with this. But it feels like Tuesday is decision making of two significant things in the outside world, business related again, two different routes I want to go possibly, and kind of a lot of um, contemplation between those things that are there as well. Yeah, so we have that. Let's see, what was it? Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. And this is next week's trip. Okay, yeah, so these three are next week's trip. Oh, that's right. These two, and then they have something below the surface. So next weekend's trip, yeah, there's a lot of decisions to be made next weekend, right? We got the Chariot card. That's here. The Magician card. That's here. Two major arcana, meaning major arcana are significant, of course. Changes and things to look at with all of that. A need for action, a need to make a choice. And so a lot of contemplation next weekend. So many possibilities. I'm feeling with the Magician card here. So definitely there's a lot here. Let's put this energy below the surfaces. Yeah. The Nine of Wands energy. There is perseverance energy that comes in with that. There's also an energy of blocks and perseverance. Also, I like the Nine of Wands, the original tarot, because it shows someone with a bandage on their head because they were hitting their head up against a wall over and over again, that they got head trauma. I injured my head hitting up against the wall all this time. And that's the big energy that's coming in here. I just feel like there is this, the weighing out of things is like, yeah, I know this partnership that I'm in life isn't ideal, but it's like it's necessary for me to be able to do this thing. And that makes so much sense, right? We learned a lot this weekend around that because of the way she grew up, that it makes sense that they would choose someone to be a partner with in life that matches that energy because it feels safe in an maybe an I don't want to call it unhealthy, but that's the only word I can think of right now. In an unhealthy way, right? Um, and also because of that business is my, my success in my actions, based on from childhood. It was reinforced. I do well, I get love, I get attention at least when I do well. And so I have this drive to do well in business for my self-worth, and that makes me feel safe in both of these in an kind of an unhealthy way. These things make me feel good about myself, but it's not 100% all the time because that's what happens when we define ourselves by the outside world. So they're going through a lot of this struggle, but in the end, I feel like they're like, you know what? In order for me to progress and move forward, I will persevere in the situation that I'm in because right now, I feel like my worth is maybe threatened in that my business, I need it to do well, and I feel like if I don't do and make some changes and do things, it won't go well, and that shakes the my life kind of energy because that's how I am defining myself so much by they define themselves a bit by relationship with family and relationship with their partner, but the big egg in the basket is their work, so in their business. So let's see what the fortune cookie brings in here, but I feel like that's kind of what's unfolding with this one. Wow, cards flying everywhere. All right, let's see what this one brings in here. All right, here is your fortune cookie. Of course, we get one fortune cookie per session, so this will be your fortune cookie for both. The ordeal. See, I don't know if you can see that ordeal. The dragon, facing the dragon. So card 15, which is the devil card in the major arcana, I believe, but it's about having our long-held beliefs rattled. So at its essence, the ordeal signifies the profound initiations and reckonings that serve to alchemize our deepest subconscious patterns, limiting beliefs, and attachments to illusory identities. Like the hero combating the dragon, this card reveals we have arrived at a critical threshold where we must directly confront the internal forces that have oh my gosh, this is crazy. I'm going to read this again. Sorry. So like the hero combating the dragon, this card reveals we've arrived at a critical threshold where we must directly confront the internal forces that have kept us tethered to smallness, safety, and the known. All that safety stuff we were talking about, that's crazy. Anyway, the dragon itself represents our greatest fears made manifest, the archetypal terror that has paralyzed our ability to fully step into our power and soul's destiny. Whether it be fear of failure, unworthiness, lack, death, or the unknown itself, the dragon's presence signals that we can no longer avoid facing this shadow aspect. The ensuing battle illuminates our commitment to no longer allow this fear to obstruct our path. Yet the ordeal is about more than just conquering fears. It is an invitation to meet our most suppressed wounds, ancestral patterning, and patterning, and core well, I'm gonna read very well today, and core existential doubts, them with raw vulnerability. The flames surrounding hero and dragon represent the quintessential phoenix process, the annihilation or annihilating of former attachments to limiting identities, followed by an eventual rebirth into a new plane of sovereign selfhood. Wow, it's a lot. Ultimately, the ordeal mirrors the dismantling and reintegration every mystic leader, artist, and truth seeker must undergo to fully embody their soul's wisdom and gifts. We cannot awaken into our most expanded state of consciousness while still unconsciously gripping to self-sabotaging narratives or toxic allegiances. The dragon guards the portal to the highest realms of our potential, ensuring only the most spiritually robust and dedicated will pass through. Wow, that's like that Nine of Wands energy, the barrier, the dragon that's guarding the barrier to get through it, right? Overcoming these beliefs. Wow, very much in alignment with the energy that we had, right? I love that. All right, well, that's for number one. Whoa. Here we go on to number two. So let's give that a love and a like. Thank you for your additional donation. Pouring another cup. So we'll have another sip here. Let me just look here. Okay. So CP is attending a family event today with their mom without FS. So mom knows, oh, oh, she's known to easily rile things up. Well, yeah. They are their mother's child. So reading on what CP tells mom's advice to CP, outcome of how all of this affects CP and FS. All right. Oh, thank you so much. You're so kind. Thank you for the compliment there. All right. Let's see what's going on in this realm, right? It's funny that CP has this opinion of FS that when you go with your family, you revert to being their child again. And you're like, mirror, because I feel like they do the same. And really, we all do as humans to some extent, right? We do have where we do, revert back to, especially around parents, we revert back to being a child. So interesting that coming through first. Okay, let's take a look here. So what does CP tell mom? Okay, got that. And then the advice that they have. Okay, that one too. And then the outcome of how all of this affects CP and FS. Anything else? Evidently so. All right. All right. So let us look here. Underlying energy around it today is the King of Wands. There is that they do not like to be told what to do or say. And the King of Wands is an energy of, yeah, but I'm going to do what I want to do as well. And you can't force me to do anything that I want to do. Okay. So just making sure someone wasn't telling me that my camera is down or something like that. I'm like, oh, I have to watch out. But I feel like this is a big energy around that, that they're like, I don't want to be told what to do, and I'm going to decide what I want to do. But of course, I don't feel like they necessarily would uh, tell mama that, because this fieriness that CP has, I feel like that's inherited from mom. It's like the dragon. It's like that's the dragon. You don't mess with the dragon. But let's take a look here. So, what does CP tell mom? Nine of Swords. So they do share some of their fears here, expectations that aren't being met. Because that's one way that you don't get burned by the dragon if you give the dragon something else to aim their fire at. Isn't that interesting? If I go, that person's doing this, they know mama dragon, mama bear will engage and attack that instead of attacking me. So it's detracting the fire to someone else. So they talk about these expectations and how they're disappointed because some of the stuff isn't unfolding, and that gives them a target to fire at. Interesting. Underneath the surface, the T below that, let's take a look here. Yeah, we've got the Hermit card and the Seven of Pentacles, which is the real fear, is the fear that I'm going to be alone, and that things aren't going to turn out the way I wanted them to turn out, kind of energy. So they won't talk about their disappointment in their choices. They're going to point over and say how they're disappointed in SP and SP's family. Here's targets for you to fire at. Because if I talk about this, I'm afraid I'll be alone. I'm afraid, that all the stuff I've been working for, it's not going to bring me what I want. Because then they will join in to go, you should know better, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? They'll attack and pick apart their life instead of others. So interesting, right? Mom's advice. One big card for advice. Interesting energy with the Four of Cups is because the Four of Cups is like stagnant, emotional energy. And I'm getting this advice. It's almost like SP's father. But this is more emotional, where SP's father was more, this is a you just have to persevere, because you got to do what you need to do to make sure you have security, right? Financial security, external security. She's saying here with the Four of Cups, that's how relationships go. This is how it is. You just have to like, no relationship is perfect. You just have to stick it out. Let's see why she says that, because there is this energy that she doesn't, even though there's a lot of ging, 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 my little sound effects, beep, 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 about them, about SP. Inside, I feel like, and we'll verify it with these three cards, they like the conflict, because it's like, if my child is happy, they don't need me. But if my child is unhappy, they need me. So again, this unhealthy, fun little thingy-majig that of dependency. Like, I want my child to cry because then they cry for mom, is how she has it in her head. Let's see what's below the surface here too. Yep, the inner child, the Sun card, inner child energy. Really feeling that here. It's all about, you're my child. And even though I want you to be successful, I don't want you to be that successful, because you wouldn't need me. Yeah. The Knight of Wands. With the Sun and the Knight of Wands too, I feel like there is this addiction to drama with mom. And it's like, and it goes back, I'm seeing her childhood. She grew up in a very, well, and it makes sense, right? She grew up in a very conflicting, um, volatile, I would say, household, to where drama is her safety. And so she feels comfortable when there's drama going on. And that's why they'll spark things, because that makes them feel comfortable, also makes them feel needed. And yeah, because they feel in their mindset with the Queen of Swords that I help bring balance. I know, right? It's all about our own perception. I bring balance. But it's like it's like if you go and you manipulate someone's life to where they have a need for counseling and you are a counselor. So you're like creating the business so that people need you. So you go and create mind games with people so they need you. Oh, look, you're back. Oh my God, you won't believe what happened. Oh, I have no idea. So it's like this catch 22 circle that they have in this, where they it makes them feel better, but then they have to create drama to feel better. But then that makes them feel bad, so they have to create drama to bring, it just keeps, it's a cycle that continues with all that. So it's interesting that they're like, well, I know, and well, of course they're going to, before the advice, they're going to diss everybody and, oh my God, I can't believe him. You have to do the fire has to go, and then the trying to balance thing is like, well, all no relationship is perfect, and you kind of have to look at some of the things that you enjoy about it, because they're reflecting on their own marriage. It's just like, wow. But so let's see what the repercussions of all this stuff is here. I think that was what we were following up, right? Last one is yeah, how the outcome and how this will impact everything. Well, interestingly, advice from mom. The Knight of Swords is about seeking clarity around my relationship. So it's like they take some of what she says to heart. Because some of it reinforces the cycles within themselves. What are these cycles? Yeah, keep doing it. Keep going after those things. Keep moving forward. Don't look back. And this feels like when they were growing up. I'm just seeing them as a child interacting with mom, because mom could, when the dragon would attack, they would have to tell themselves, it'll get better, it'll get better, it'll get better. And so what mom is saying, you just got to do this. You just got to persevere. Inside, they're like, yeah, things will get better. Things will get better, kind of thing, right? I love it, right? So good clarity. And I like how we're not gossiping, we're sharing. No, just kidding. We're not, that's why spirit allows us to see into the window of people, because they give us the clarity of the what's going on, behind the scenes, and it's like, okay, it helps us understand why people stay in the things that they do and how they interact. And it allows us to, it's like that saying, give people a lot of grace. We have no idea what they've gone through and what they're going through, and to bring them where they're at. And we think, I would never do that. If we had, of course, lived the life everyone else has, we would pretty much be doing the same thing, because we as humans are conditioned that way. So let's see what else. Here's the outcome here, more so. Yep, Five of Swords. There is this battle between their head and their heart. What else we have here? Yeah, the Page of Swords, which causing them to see things differently, and the Ace of Pentacles. Interesting energy, because that is giving a new opportunity and give it another try kind of energy with CP. It's like, well, all right, even though I'm battling between my head and my heart, I'm I'm seeing things from a different perspective. I'm going to try this again. Um, so this time away from each other, interacting with their families alone, I feel like they kind of come back together and go, I don't want to do that again. They realize, wow, didn't realize what I don't want to say a support each other are when they're with each other's family, but I want to say like it's what they're showing to me is like um, you're in danger and you uh, pull someone in front of you. Here, you take this. It's like you become the punching bag instead of me. Uh, you get the attention of my family instead of me, um, because they're the source of how would you say that they deflect onto them, right? Yeah, you take the bullet. There you go. Exactly. um, and we don't realize it until we don't have that protection, and we're like, poo, 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 ow. Normally they take that. So it does feel like, though temporarily, because of course they go back into their old cycles after a few days as life hits. But I feel like for a couple days they're just really realizing, wow, I didn't. I don't feel like they've been with their family by themselves a whole lot lately, and I do feel like there's this, you know, uh, realization of some things. So really, really interesting with all that. But that's what they have. So I do feel there's a lot of possibilities, because it does feel like from CP's standpoint, it does impact the relationship in that, well, things will get better. Let me get another try. So there's kind of a renewed energy with them both coming back from having been away from each other. Um, Again, there's this feeling of safety that comes back into the known, and feeling of being in the same cycle makes them, it makes them feel comfortable because they're used to that. Um, but I feel next weekend will determine some things too, because there is a a lot of possibilities that I'm seeing. Because I see this, the impact of this kind of doing this, but then going back into the same cycles. But then next weekend, um, there is some energy. So we can see next weekend when choices are being made, how it impacts them there. Because right now it just feels like there's uh, a fog for me. There's for that. So we shall see. So hopefully that helps. But that's what they have for you right now, Dana. Thank you again so much for your dual donations. I greatly appreciate that. So many blessings to you. Cheers for the tea. You are very welcome. All right. So let us get the list going here. So Maria P, you will be up next. Let's see where we're at here. We got those here. Let me check timestamps. All right. So we got that. And then here, oops. Delete that here. It's actually Maria P times 2. Thank you for your dual donations. So we got that times 2, 1 and 2. And then let me see here. Oops. Okay. Sorry, let me just get some of this junk out of the way here. Okay. So we actually have 3 for Maria P. It's a rhyme. All right. Via Z PayPal. And then we have Twin Venus up after that. And then Deb up after that. And then Sun and Moon. Oops. After that. brudda-zen can type. And then we have Sudeshna Ghosh up after that. Okay. And then Moonlight 5. And if you guys, I know I mentioned it yesterday, suddenly YouTube has returned back to using the, I forget what they call it. It's the @ sign ID instead of the name that we've chosen. They did that before and they changed it back, and now they've done it again, and it's, I know it kind of was weird. So for the donations, I'm putting you guys' real names because I know a lot of you. For the free readings, I'm going to do the @ because I'd have to go over to the channel, go to each of your channels to see what your name is. So just know when I eventually pin the comments, it'll have that weird, that weirdness around it. All right, but that's where we're at. So Maria P times 3, Twin Venus, Deb, Sun and Moon, Sudesh, and Moonlight 5 is where we're at for donations currently. All right, so let's take a sip here. We're done with that. We'll start on water now. Hey, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Johanna. Good to see you. All right. So Maria P, we are at 1:17:17. How perfect is that? Whoops. If I type it right, you are. All right. So this will be for all 3. We'll do that here. All right. So thank you for your multiple donations via Z PayPal. All right. So for number 1, let's take a look here. Looking into the days of our lives. All right. So Wally's thoughts and feelings towards you today. We'll see what's going on with Wally here. Is he planning for us next week to have a date? All right. Let's take a look here. Does he like it when you say, oh, women, back away from my boyfriend? Okay. When you hiss at him. So does M or L or I, should I say any woman at work? Okay. So we'll look here specifically. Does M, L, or any like him? And anyone she should be aware of. You know, it's not really about, yeah, I like the King of Wands on the bottom here, because that is that energy of the king, like the king of, not the king, but the Knight of Wands is more of a action, passion, prince who can't keep it in his pants kind of energy. A King of Wands is someone who can bridle and control their passions. So you don't have to worry. No one can take anyone from us. Truly, you know, I don't have to be aware of other people, because then that's me thinking they can't control themselves. These other people can take them away from me. And it's like, no, it can't. There was this great meme. It was some sort of, I think it was from some short, I don't watch reality TV, but I think it was a reality TV show where, you know, women are, either it's women are competing for, to be with a man, or it's a mixture of people dating, because there's someone on the couch and it's all the women, and the host is a lady, and she's like asking, so did you know that they were going to steal your man away or whatever, and or that he was gonna cheat on you? And she was like, I had a feeling, I saw it coming. And they're like, well, how do you feel that she stole him from you? And she goes, she didn't steal my man from me, she stole my problem. And it's like, ooh, they're like, we got to get a t-shirt for that. But that's what it is. It's like if someone can take someone from us, it's you thank you for taking my problem away, because then they weren't true, because if I truly care for someone and I have the capacity to commit, then I'm not going to do anything. And if I can't, then you weren't going to anyway. It wasn't about that person. It was about us. Right. So it's always a good solution and if we fear it, of course, then we draw that experience in. A lot of my life, before I even had a relationship, because my mom experienced betrayal um, before I was born, um, even before she was pregnant with me, between my older brother and me, then I felt that in the womb all the way through, that I fear I'm going to get cheated on, right? And then because I was focusing on, I fear that if I find a relationship, I'm going to be cheated on. Guess what? Boom, boom, boom. Cheated on, cheated on, cheated on until I learned my awareness of, oh, I'm cheating on myself with other people, because truly that's what happens. The mirror reflecting taught me that my self-worth comes from my higher self and my inwardness, not my outwardness. So when I was looking for my worth in this person, and then in this person, and then in this person, I was cheating on myself with each one of those, because I was looking for my self-worth out here instead. So definitely um, something to be aware of, right? All right, let's jump in. What are their feelings and thoughts for you today? Got the Six of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, I like it here. They have, the Six of Wands is an energy of victory, of equal attraction. The Seven of Pentacles is the taking the time. The last thing that grows on the fruit tree is the fruit. I like that they've returned back to patience again, about I don't have to rush. I feel secure. So it feels like whatever has unfolded the last few days, I feel like they're in a place of, all right, now we can just go with the flow and allow things to grow. And they feel like that, uh, you know, secure energy in the relationship. So I like that. Is he planning a date for you next week? Ooh, yeah, we got the moon energy here. So I feel like there's something they are planning. This is the hidden and unseen energy, but it is, they want to plan something emotional, you know. Um, so they want to do something romantic, not just something, passionate. They want to do something romantic. So they are planning something romantic next week. Ooh. And does he like it when you say, women back away? Yeah, it is new for him here with the full card. It's the letting go of the expectations and this feeling of, um, I just feel like it is a new type of adventure for them. They haven't had that before. Um, so, there is this underlying energy of care around that they're seeing it as. They're not seeing it as like, oh my God, you're so possessive. They're like, wow, I hadn't had someone. It's usually someone saying, you know, you're not the only person in the sea. If you don't treat me right, I'm going to go find someone else. Blah, 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 blah. That's usually what they have had. That's where that fear of abandonment has come from and reinforced over time that we talked about, right? Does M have feelings toward him? No, we've got the world card, ending of a cycle, beginning of a new adventure energy here. I feel like they're in a big life change energy. So I don't feel that from M. And then L. Ooh, L. L might with the Two of Cups here. So L does have a bit of a crush on them here. Any other women there? Yeah, there's quite a few. Queen of Cups energy. There's a lot that have emotions for them, um, toward them. But anyone you need to worry about specifically here? The Page of Pentacles. This is about seeing your worth in relationship to the outside world in a different way. And it's like what we were talked about. We're kind of going full circle back to where we we're talking about. You don't have to worry about them cheating on anyone. What you look at is your fears around people cheating on you. What does that mean when they nothing about that shows you about what they're going through. But if we're focusing on and have a fear around it, then we will get all the experiences we always need in our life to help us with our own transformation and our own growth, right? So, but I don't feel like you even have to worry about, any of these. It just, it's like, it's more of the office women, right? That are like, he's so handsome and he's so charming. Oh, what a sweetheart. What a da 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 da. And it's more that they're attracted to the dream of what they want in their life, and he just happens to be a good token poster child for their romance. Oh, isn't he so sweet? Isn't he so handsome? Oh, it's not like I love him, I gotta have him. No one else can have him kind of energy. That's funny. Anyway, let me take a sip here. All right, let's see what else we have here. So your fortune cookie for all three of your readings today, it's going to be this one here. And you have a rebirth. Card number 34. And interesting, who knew this? You had 11717, 17 plus 17, or 17 times 2. Isn't that 34? If my maths is correct. So 34 is a number for you. You might even search angel number 34, see what resonates with you. But it says, at its core, rebirth represents the cyclical journey of death and renewal that permeates all aspects of life. The caterpillar's transformation into a butterfly evokes the sacred surrender required to let go of that which has been constraining or outgrown, courageously dissolving our former selves to be reborn into our more authentically aligned incarnation. So this kind of talks about one of the things to let go are some of these fears, expectations around what relationships are, what happens in relationships, what we fear about happening in relationships, right? When this card emerges, we may find ourselves amidst the throes of a profound personal rebirth, a pivotal transition that demands we release the habits, beliefs, or circumstances that have confined our growth and evolution. We're called to shed the crystallized forms of our past selves, embracing the uncertainty and seeming disillusion that precedes our ultimate metamorphosis. Rebirth encourages us to meet the trials and tests of our transformational journeys with grace, trust, and a willingness to surrender to the forces that are catalyzing our profound renewal. Excuse me. So all these people that you're, hissing at, it's like, oh, this is for me to look at my insecurity, right? We're reminded that the path of transfiguration is often wrought with periods of cocooned gestation, where the very fabric of our beings undergoes an alchemical repatterning in preparation for our next stage of embodiment. At times, this card arrives as a poignant reminder that the most significant growth and evolution often emerges from the ashes of what has been profoundly dismantled within us. Ultimately, rebirth extends an invitation to surrender to the transformative currents that are sweeping through our lives, trusting in the greater intelligence that is orchestrating our continual unfurling. For it is through the sacred cycles of death and renewal that we transcend the confines of our past selves, emerging, excuse me, pardon me, emerging ever anew as radiant expressions of our most authentic and unbounded essence. So definitely rebirth energy coming in, cocooning, letting go of old ways of thinking, old emotions, and getting to the root of the fears, the expectations that frees you, so that instead of focusing on our fears and our expectations, which invites all that stuff in, we're focusing on what we have in the moment, what we're grateful for, right? Always returning back to that, right? They always have to remind you. It's good for all of us to remember that. I get caught out into my expectations. I spiral out into the downward spiral. I'm so sorry. Hold on a second. Grab another cough drop here. I know it's because the air conditioner's on and there's smoke outside. So my body's letting me know. Do you realize there's a fire going on somewhere? I do. Thank you for letting me know. All right. This will help clear it up. All right, so that's for your first one. And then for your second one, let's take a look here. Thank you for your multiple donations today. So, what's coming for your relationship with Wally? All right. And then, does he talk to any other women, like in a provocative way? Updates on the dark side. Yeah, clearing your throat all day. I know. Yeah, you guys got it from Canada right up there. Craziness. When I used to live in northern Idaho, it's just like 90 miles from the Canadian border. It would be like fog. It was so thick. They'd have like red flag warnings. Do not go outside or you will die. Speaking of which, okay. Hopefully I'm like, if I pass out here, someone please dial 911. I'm just kidding. So updates on the dark side. Did anyone notice that your relationship with Wally at work? All right. You were outside all day too, Deb? All right. And then he loves you and wouldn't do anything stupid to hurt it. Well, how humans act. If a human goes into, well, look, when a human goes into fight or flight mode, we all do stupid stuff. We say stupid things. We do stupid things, right? All right, let's take a look here. So what's coming in with your relationship with Wally? You do have the Three of Swords. And this is good. It's good to know because this is what we were just talking about. The Three of Swords is about expectations equal disappointment. You will have disappointments, and this is all for you. Both of you will have disappointments in each other. What? Oh no! It's normal. It's natural. That's what happens in any relationship. If we're honest with ourselves and we don't, paint this picture going, they do no wrong. In our minds, as long as we have expectations in relationships about who someone is supposed to be, who they're supposed to be in the relationship, how the relationship is supposed to progress, what's supposed to happen in the relationship, and what timing things are supposed to happen in a relationship, what it's supposed to bring me, who I'm supposed to be in the relationship, how we're supposed to interact. We're always going to have, they're not doing the things the way I want, to the extent I want, or even doing the things I want, saying the things I want when I want them to say it. That's the downward spiral that sucks the life out of things. So you will, and it feels like here, a lot of the questions that you're having, you're pulled into those expectations, right? Because that's all the stuff. They shouldn't be doing this. They shouldn't be saying that. They should be acting this way, and so we're taking that stuff and creating our stories around it, right? That's what all those expectations are. the stories in that. But I like it for you because this was what frees you from them, and it returns you back to the gratitude for who someone is, what you do have, what you have had, and you come back to the now instead of the fear of the future or reflections back into the past in a lower vibration way. You're able to come into this moment in a higher vibration. So think about that for a sec while I clear my throat. All right. Okay, I think we're okay. The frog has left for a moment. So, something to think about there. He doesn't talk to any other women in a provocative way. The hermit. What a perfect card. Is that convincing? No, it's like a hermit. You are the only temple that he attends. You are his monastery. He only. Whoa, I'm not going to go where that was going to take me there. So no. Updates on the dark side. Two of Pentacles. Yeah, there is this. They're trying to keep things balanced. It's like usually it's the dragon guarding the cave, but here's the snake. It's more of a balance, trying to keep things cordial and trying to keep things balanced in their outside world right now. So, they just are stepping into their energy. They got so much going on. They fairly new in the job that they're in, and they're focusing energy on you and doing things with you and doing that. And then they're trying to plan and what they need to do to, be independent for a while and get out of that situation that they're in. So they have a lot going on. They're trying to balance a lot, and then also family and friends and everything else. They have their life is overly full. They are struggling balancing everything. So they're just trying to keep things from turning into a bonfire at home right now. So that's kind of where they're at on the dark side. Did anyone notice your relationship with Wally at work? We have the 10 of Swords that's coming in here. Let's see what's below here, because that 10 of Swords is a card about pleasing other people, letting go of expectations, right? Here's the three of Swords, 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords is that I'm just tired of trying to please other people and worry about what people think and with this and that and everything. It's kind of like a message of going, what if they did? It's a nice little nudge from Spirit to look at that. I don't feel like anyone really cared. The Four of Swords is the peace of mind with letting expectations go and enjoy the adventure kind of energy. But I feel like they're saying, just don't worry about that. Just let the expectations go and enjoy the adventure. So there is kind of this energy about expectations. Come back to gratitude. Come back to gratitude for what you do have and have had with them. Because it's like they're saying you're pulled out into all these expectations, right? But I like that they're saying, not in a rude way, what does it matter? Really, that's something to think about. Why does it matter to me if people did or not? What's my fear, right? Or what's my hope as well, right? Because you might say, I hope people saw that. I hope people, and what do they think? What matters is what you think, right? And then he loves you and wouldn't do anything stupid to hurt it. We have the 9 of Wands. Here's that hermit energy again. And the 8 of Wands. So there is this, and I'm going back to the king of Wands that you had in the previous reading, because the 9 of Wands is like a barrier of passion, and the 8 of Wands is they have a lot of passion, but you have the 8 of Wands to the 9 of Wands. Their flow of passion is they have a shield. So I don't feel like there's anything that they would intentionally do to hurt your guys' relationship. And I like that too. My life is so full, I don't have time for anyone else. I don't have the energy for anyone else. You are enough. You are more than enough. So I like that. All right. So that is for number 2. And then for number 3, thank you for your third donation. All right. Thank you, Deb, for answering there. I appreciate that. All right. So, Maria, you want to know what's coming for you at work? All right. I like the focus on you. I like this energy. What are Superintendent B and Executive Director L thinking of you at your work? All right, let's take a look here. So from B's perspective, and then from L's perspective, whoa, simmer down. All right, the other 5 ladies you sit by, oh, are they still still doing their shenanigans? All right, we'll take a look here. So I do feel here, on the bottom here, we have the Page of Swords, or the Ace of Swords, sorry, which is a new, which is like a new awareness, new clarity that comes in at work, even some new training that is available, I feel like, coming up here, because it is about learning and growth at work. So I like that overall, talking about work. What's coming up for you? You do have the King of Cups, which is this balance between head and heart that's coming in here. So it feels very both mentally stimulating and emotionally enjoyable. So I like this wonderful balance. It feels like a great fit kind of energy where you really feel like you're having these opportunities and fitting in, because it does feel like you're in this place where the job is beginning to fit you more like a glove than it was before. So I like that energy that's coming in here. B, I don't know if I should say their names out loud, but B's, what do they think of you and your work? Got the 7 of Cups. Got a bunch of different emotions around all of that. They definitely feel here with the Knight of Wands that you are a go-getter. You're very passionate. You're energetic. You go after it. They do see, excuse me, you on this quest of stepping into your power, and so I like that for you. There is this. They see you stepping into your strength, stepping forward and expressing yourself, and it feels very positive with that. The 7 of Cups energy, when I say there's a lot of different emotions, they have a lot of good things of what you are doing, and you know, in that, but there's opportunities that they see of growth, which is all right. You're young. you got stuff to learn, but it's not like a judgmental, like, oh, it's like just a recognition of that. But overall, that Knight of Wands, they do see you as this passionate individual that you have a lot of energy. You put action behind things. You make things happen. You get things done. Hard worker kind of energy. And then Director L, what do they think of you and your work? Got the 8 of Cups energy there, and the 5 of Pentacles energy here. from their standpoint, there is this energy. I kind of feel like um, they feel like there's some things that you can let go of that are holding you back that can help you move forward. They kind of see a little bit more intuitively, and I feel like they pick up on some, maybe a little bit of insecurities, a little bit of um, uh, challenges with hoping you're enough, holding yourself back a little bit, uh, and so I feel like they're like letting some old emotional things go, some old relationships go, will help you move forward. Kind of energy there. Some old situations, letting them go. That's funny. Maybe this with the five ladies and all that. It's like I feel like there is that energy with all of that. Kind of you know aspect of it. But I feel like they don't feel they feel like you do a good job in this. I feel like they are someone that's really motivated about, you could they could see where you could go. And it's almost like a mom energy. You can let go of this stuff. You could go so far, but you have to step back. They kind of sense your insecurity around some things, and some of this. They look at more relationships that you've had at work, and they're like, you can let that go to move forward, kind of energy. But I feel like for some reason their awareness of you is a little less than B's, if that makes sense. So they just know enough, but I feel like B is more aware of what you do than L is. And then the other five ladies you sit by, do they still make lies to you and do all the shenanigans? We got the Six of Pentacles. Let's see what else we have here. The Queen of Pentacles. And the Five of Cups. Okay. Five of Cups, like a starfish trying to stick to your forehead. You know, I do sense here, I mean, the Queen of Pentacles is like a abundance and Mother Nature, Mother Nurture kind of energy. And I feel like they're not intentionally trying to do things towards you anymore because they are focused on themselves and their own success. But the Five of Cups is telling us that it was their own reflection why they were doing this, because they were intimidated, they were jealous, they were it's their own sense of their own security that they wanted to, why they were reacting toward that, right? And this is an energy too, kind of nudging you to look at your self-worth with the Queen of Pentacles. It's Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. Looking at your emotions, because they're a mirror for you. So whatever you feel they're doing toward you is what you're doing some way, somehow to yourself, right? So when they're making lies of me, how am I lying to myself? They're trying to make me do bad. How am I um, trying to make myself do bad? Or how do they say that? Self-destructing myself. What is that? How they say that? How I'm getting in my own way. How am I sabotaging? How am I sabotaging myself? Because I feel like they're trying to sabotage me. But that's some things to look at, because, what's one of the big ways we sabotage ourselves? Worrying about what other people think about us and trying to live up to everyone else's expectations. That's self-sabotage, because when we go into expectations, how other people are supposed to act or not act, how am I supposed to do or not do, that's that downward spiral that does sabotage my growth and abundance and expansion, because expectations that are rooted in small teachers of fear are restrictive. they make me feel blinded and bound and trapped and restricted and powerless and unsuccessful, right? So a good awareness through these readings for that. Hopefully that helps a little bit. And that's what they have for you right now. So many blessings, Maria. Thank you again for the multiple donations. And we will continue on. So enjoy. Hang in there. What an adventure. Yay. All right. Thank you, guys. Hey, everybody. Hello, hello. I can do a twin flame reading, and it's good for everyone to know, anyone new that's come in. Free readings are just 1 to 2 card readings. So a twin flame reading will be very limited, but we can do one. Like, do you have a twin flame? If so, who is it? Or what can you know about it? We can do a little mini twin flame reading. If you make a donation, I can dive deeper in those two. That's totally up to you, just so that everyone knows what's available. I do, obviously, the donations I'm doing now, we're diving much more deeper than 1 or 2 cards. All right. Hey, Carmel, everybody. Hey, Liz. Dejona. Hey, everybody. Here I go, trying to say hi to everybody. Hi, everyone. I wish I could say hi to each and individual one of you. But know that I appreciate you, and I'm so glad you're here sharing our adventures together. All right. So let us dive in. So Twin V, you are up. Hello, Twin V, little sister. How are you? Good to see you. Let's grab your time stamp here. Thank you for your donation. Let's give that a love and a like here. BBZ. So will Wedge-ick compensate you what is fairly owed to you, or will you have to fight for it? Oh, okay. If they know what's good for them, they won't fight you, right? Boom. All right, let's take a look here. So based on current energies, will they compensate you what's fairly owed to you, or are you going to have to go to the mat? Let's see what they want you to know here. Okay. All right, the bottom of the deck, you do have the Four of Pentacles, which is a good, solid foundation, although you might have to bust down the door a little bit there. It might take a little bit of work, but I don't feel like, well, we'll see what else is here. But with that Four of Pentacles, it feels like a solid, fair amount. It's not like, whoa, or less. It's like copacetic kind of energy. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, you have the Six of Wands, which is a victory energy that comes in with that. So I like that. You have a 3, 2, 1 after this. Let's see what this is counting down to here. You have the Two of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune. We like that. And the Knight of Wands starting off here. So this is an important thing, which makes sense with whatever's unfolding in our life. Spirit usually brings us back to this place of, with the Two of Swords, it's attitude that brings in the flow of more of that than we do in the other direction, right? And the Knight of Wands is the quest of where I'm investing my energy. So that's why all 3 of these together kind of bring it. You'll get fairness, but if you focus on gratitude, it can also give you the ability to expand it and to make it bigger, maybe even more than fair, So it's like what I focus on is what I draw in. So if I want just fairness, I'll get just fairness. But if I have gratitude and go, I know, Creator, that you love me and I'm worthy of having abundance and blessedness, so I hand it over to you. I have gratitude around it. I do the actions I can do, but with the intention of gratitude, going, and let me know, Creator, anything else I can do to help make it easy, for you to bring in my abundance, right? So I like that. That's 3. Start off with the energy. Number 2, countdown. Yeah, the King of Cups, the balance between the head and the heart, and the energy. The Ten of Wands can start off with an energy of burden that can transform into harvest because, again, that's that changing it from energy to energy, right? My little sound effects. But you get it. You get it. So I like that. And then you have the Eight of Swords. Yeah, there is a bit of Eight of Swords is letting go of expectations, right? Letting go of those thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that have made me feel blinded and bound and trapped and restricted. Expectations are what suck the life out of things. We start focusing on what's not happening. So even like with this company, you can focus on what I'm grateful for about this company. What are the things that I am grateful and that I enjoy about this company? Because that expands that instead of expanding more problems with the company, more things they're not doing, more unfairness, like I focus on how they are fair, the things they have done for me, the things that they do, that can help with all of that too. So I like it. It feels like you're going to get fair, but with your energy, you can make it an easier path as well as a more abundant path as well. That's our power, right? Which I know you know all that. It's just a great reminder for us to return to that. Let's put your fortune cookie brings in here too. There we go. Excuse me as I crunch my cough drop here. You got resolution. Card 17. So maybe it's on the 17th of this month in a week. All right. At its core, resolution signifies the long-awaited denouement and integration that emerges after we have walked the razor's edge of our paths with steadfast courage and commitment. The mountain's summit evokes a feeling of standing in rarefied air, having attained a new elevated vantage point on life through the rites of passage and soul-forging tests we've undergone. When this card appears, we are met with the profound realization that a pivotal cycle of becoming has reached its resolution, whether an inner odyssey of self-actualization, the manifestation of a long-held vision, or the attainment of hard-earned wisdom through seasons of turbulence, or a resolution to your situation, right? The sunlight's warm embrace signals a blessing on the efforts expended. We are meant to pause, breathe deeply, and absorb the sacred culmination unfolding. In some cases, resolution may indicate the completion of significant life chapters where our previous experiences and identity levels have successfully prepared us to birth new expressions and layer on expanded embodiments of our soul's essence. Like finally cresting the mountain, we emerge with vaster horizons of possibilities in our sights. Alternatively, this card can arrive as a harbinger that our most stalwart visions and aims, nurtured diligently through thick and thin, are now ripe for fruition and real-world realization. Our persistence while scaling the slopes has cleared the way for manifestation under the cosmos' favoring gaze. Ultimately, however, resolution extends beyond the trappings of external goals. Its zenith transmission is an indelible remembrance of who we are at essence, remembering who we really are. But I love that. So I love that they're talking about this is a good awareness lesson. Okay, yeah, I can return in this situation. I can return back to me and my power. I'm not at the whim of a company or people. My energy is what draws things into my life, not what people are choosing. It's what I'm choosing. And I like that. And then, of course, you do have resolution coming in. So I like that for you, Twin V. That is what they have for you, my dear. So many blessings to you. Good to see you. All right. Moonlight, nope, we haven't reached you yet. We've got Deb up next, then Sun and Moon, then Sudeshna, and then you're up after that. So you haven't missed it yet. Or you haven't missed it. Not that you're going to miss it, but you haven't missed it. All right. So, Deb, you are up. Oh, look at that. You had 2, 0, 1, 10. Whoops. If I type it right, it looks like a mirror. So, Deb, boom. I love it. So, thank you for your donation. Let's give that a love and a like there. Good to see you. I'm glad that you're not in a smoke-filled place right now, that you can breathe. So you want to look at the energy for the week of August 17th. All right. You're going back to the outer Cape Cod that week. Oh, how fun. All right. Oh, yeah. And thank you for sending the picture. I saw that here. Let me. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. It's amazing. I'll take a closer look at those later. Oh my gosh, that is amazing that you got that camera on there where you can take pictures from the telescope, especially with all these amazing astrological events that are happening. I love it. All right. So, Deb, let's dive in here and see the energy of August 17th. Yeah. You're welcome, Twin V. You're welcome, Moonlight. And all right, Deb. Yeah, first time taking pictures through this telescope. You're going to be like, become an expert. All right. So what we have here. So the week of August 17th, based on current energies, what are we looking at here? Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. And boom. I feel like we get this one too. It's like an extra one here. We got 3, 2, 1, 3 cards, 2 cards, 1 card, and then 1 card again. So it feels like, so this isn't a repetitive cycle. This is a countdown to something. And we'll see what this is. It's like a removal energy, transform energy, something being let go of, something coming in. To replace it. And that makes sense too with the bottom of the deck with the Justice card, the scales, and with the Ace of Swords that it has, about seeing things from a higher perspective, gaining clarity, the balance, taking something from a low vibrational scale put it on the higher vibrational scale. So some wisdom gleaned that week, and I feel like there is something that you do let go of. Let's see what this is about. I know, yay! What does that mean? No, I know. Yeah, you have the calling card of the judgment card, which is that energy of seeing things from a higher perspective that kind of pulls you in a direction. So definitely some clarity. Ooh, the Queen of Cups. She who is very intuitive and very empathic, and so this could be a pulling in the direction of a spiritual gift that's coming in here for you. I love the dolphins. I don't know if there's dolphins that far up north. I don't know if it's warm enough for them, but maybe you're going to see a dolphin. But definitely dolphin energy is making himself known here. But I like this expansion kind of feeling. Yeah, and the Four of Swords. Yeah, the letting go of some more expectations. And, oh, there are dolphins. Okay, very good. I know a little about a lot. You're funny. I like this. This is this peace of mind that you have there as you let some expectations go. I feel like in the where you're going and being in the area that you're in, it's very nature, I feel like for you, you just feel um, that there's an expectation that's really loud. And I don't feel like this is so much about you, your life. This is about an expectation about someone else's life. And I feel like it really gets loud when you're there and you realize, oh, I see this, and you release it. I feel like that's what a big piece of that is, with that Ace of Swords, because they are sleeping on the Ace of Swords in the original Four of Swords, which is the Ace of Swords of the Justice card that you had. So you realize it and go, oh, I get it. So that's the 3. And then the 2, you've got the Queen of Swords, the balance between the head and the heart. There you go, your Aquarius mind. And the 7 of Pentacles, too. I like this because one of the things that you've really fine-tuned in your life is when you realize when something isn't bringing you the result you wanted, you're like, oh, I'm letting that go, kind of energy, right? So that's what the 7 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles is the last thing that grows on the fruit tree, is the fruit, blah, blah, blah. But also it's when the fruit grows and it's like, that, I don't want that, Sorry. So, there is that, yeah, much better, that, yes, absolutely. And you're like, recognizing it is the first thing. And then the releasing of it is the second thing. And you really have become so aware of that, like you said, so quick in recognizing it, instead of like, I've been feeling this way for 3 months, and now you're like, oh, what is that? It's like, I'd say it's almost like immediate. You start to feel it rise and you're like, bleh, bleh. So that's not your norm anymore. So it's like listening to really loud music. If you're always listening to it, it doesn't stand out. But when you spend a lot of time in silence, loud music really is like, whoa. It's like me becoming a crotchety old man, turn that music down. You recognize it right away. That's what. But I like this. Let's see where this is leading you here. Yep, 10 of Pentacles. A feeling of abundance. A lot of great energy here of family and togetherness, the fullness of life. I just feel like it brings you back to this space of gratitude, with that release here. I feel like the expectation does have to do with family. Maybe this has to do with your daughter. They're just bringing up here, seeing the children and things here, that it could be that those expectations are about what choices they're making, which I know that mama bear energy, right? It's like, okay, I want them to do the best thing. And I think the best thing for them to do is, oh, that's right. That's my expectation. I'm just going to fold that in and put that away and go, that's their life and experience. And I will just be here to observe and to provide loving support. You believe it's probably is her? Yeah. Do you like that? I think, okay, let me just, yeah. I'm just putting that back in my pocket. Yeah, and here's the 9 of Swords. Yeah, so it is all about facing the fears and understanding the fears. It's like, well, what if they're unhappy? What if they don't get their dream? What if, right? And you're like, that's up to them. That's their adventure. And it has nothing to do with me. I can't control that. But I can give them love and provide the atmosphere to make it an easier choice for them to choose higher vibration. But even if they don't, that's okay. And I know it's like when our children are sadsies, we feel like it's our responsibility and that's our fault that they're not. But no, you've given them all the tools that they need to make the choices they want, and that's up to them. So I love that releasing of responsibility, and that's a tough one for parents, I know. Maybe not, I don't have children of my own, but I've acted like a father or a parent to a lot of people, a mother to a lot of people, especially as a supervisor in corporations, and it never fared well. I learned to release those things. I know it's different when they come from your own body and there's a special connection of that. I wouldn't, you know, uh, lower the importance or the specialness of that. But I've also been in many lifetimes a father and mother. So uh, we learn um, if we want to. Um, but there's nothing wrong with suffering for our children either. Yeah. Or feeling responsible for everyone. Responsibility. Card number 24. Interesting. Let's see what this brings in here. Bonjour. Let's see. At its core, responsibility represents the next harmonic of our evolutionary spiral, the phase after our individuation, where we surrender our isolated attainments for the elevation of the collective. The crowned hero reminds us that with each new octave of realization comes an initiatory burden to bear its teachings as beacons for those still finding their way on the path behind us. Interesting. When this card emerges, we are being summoned to inhabit the fullest stewardship and custodianship of the boons, wisdoms, and expanded vocations we have birthed through our epic journeys. The throne and crown are symbols that the escapes of the lone spiritual sojourner must give way to the embodiment of the realized visionary and sovereign, anchoring in their ability to uplift and course correct the tides of the greater whole. So, realizing our impact on others, right? This energetic transmission nudges us beyond personal aggrandizement, reminding us that our profoundest achievements are only rendered whole when radically applied towards service, community building, and the establishment of more unified consciousness on the planet. Such an Aquarius energy, right? That's like from the handbook of Aquarius. This card empowers us to act not just as thinkers or dreamers, but as grounded channels of wisdom. So, of course, being the source of wisdom and sharing out of love um, tidbits of what you learned on what has helped your journey, not expecting them to take it on, but being a source of it, right? Yeah, exactly. I love that. Ultimately, responsibility invites us to embrace our highest purpose with grace, understanding that we are not meant to remain in our own light, but to be eternal sources of creation, guiding and serving wherever we are called. So I like that. It's the difference. And I know that this is what you've been experiencing lately, probably over the last year with going to Florida and all these places, is that I used to be a great source of, what do you call it? Unsolicited advice. I used to love giving unsolicited advice in my life. And then I learned to be still and to observe. And then I would provide uh, messages um, and advice when asked. And so that's the whole thing, is that learning of, I don't need to give my unsolicited advice. I can give unsolicited unconditional love to a situation, to a person, knowing the higher selves of everyone involved will take that energy and do what they want to do. But we really learn to, you know, um, I don't need to say anything unless someone asks me something. Or as you are connecting to your spiritual gifts, when we get nudged to say something from spirit, that comes from a different place. It doesn't come from our aggrandizement, like you said, or our ego. Let me tell you, You know, this is the right way. This is what you should do. When it's a should, we know that's not from spirit, because spirit isn't about shoulds or expectations. They're about, here's how you can look at this to make your journey easier if you'd like. But if you don't, that's up to you. It doesn't impact me. We don't have to say that, but we know it doesn't have to impact me. I'm just letting them know, if you want to make it easier, you can do that, or not. Why would I want to cheat, as Byron Katie, she would say, I don't want to cheat you out of your own personal hell if that's what you want to experience. It's not me to keep you from that. But if you want to do that, if you want, and then someone used to say, if you want to wallow around in the quagmire of your despair, go at it. Enjoy. I'll be over here holding a towel when you're ready to dry off. So I love that for you, Deb. That's what they have for you, my dear. So enjoy it. I love it. Thank you again for your donation. I'm so grateful. Oh, so fun. So fun. All right. So we will continue here. So we've got Sun and Moon, and then Sudeshna, and then Moonlight 5 is where we're at. So Sun and Moon, you are up. Let's grab yours. Here we go. Here's your timestamp. Thank you for your donation. I love the little sneak peek sticker. So let's take a look here and get an update. So we want a reading on when will Sagittarius reach out next, and what will that conversation look like? All right. Yeah. Always good to see you too. Welcome. Happy to have you on the adventure. Take a sip here. All right. So let's take a look here. Based on current energies, when will Sagittarius reach out next? Okay, let's see where they're at today, right? We're like, where are they at right now? Oh, I tell you, it's always a moving target with them. As soon as I go into their energy, it's like, whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm like, stop. It's like one of those video games where you have trying to lock in on something to shoot a missile at it, or like in those movies where they're flying jets like Top Gun and they're there they are, shoot. It stopped for a moment. I can lock in on their energy. So when and what will the conversation look like? Let's see what else we have here. Okay, what else? All right. And I like that too. Okay, what do we got here? All right. So let's look at the when first. We got the Queen of Swords. And we've got the Lover's card. Oh my gosh. Well, the Queen of Swords, let's see here. This is a balance between head and heart. when they become balanced. All right, so in 2027, I was kidding, but a bunch. But they've got this interesting energy. What is this all about here? When we become balanced, even this Lover's card of emotional choices, I just feel like when they get to this calm place, the calm after the storm, it is the balance between mind and heart. Moon. Oh, I'm getting moon, air moon energy. Did we have, was this your reading that we had, that it's going to be during a air moon? Because of course we just had the Aquarius full moon here, so it'll be another, we have those. Did we even look this up? This feels familiar. I don't know. Sometimes I dream about doing readings. I know I can be a freak a bit. But let's see here. We've got the next, let's talk about the next moons, right? The next time that the moon goes into an air sign is Gemini, next Saturday. And then it's in Gemini through Monday afternoon. And then after that, of course, it goes out of that and it returns back into Libra. Libra? Yeah, Libra. That's Monday the 25th through Wednesday the 27th, evening of Wednesday the 27th. So, and it's interesting because Libra does roll over the house of relationships. So I do feel like it's more like the 25th through the 27th kind of energy that's coming in there. I know, we got all astrological suddenly. Hey, maybe it wasn't yours, but they did bring it back from someone else's reading to point to it. So uh, that's how spirit works. They'll bloop 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 bloop. Because they're reminding me, it was someone's reading where we were asking about uh, this, like this time, or it was like this week, mid-August, late August, and then we got communication coming in then. But that's what they're showing here, and I feel like that is that energy that's coming in here. When it's balanced out, that's when there will be communication, I feel. So I feel like it's more that Libra towards the end energy. Could be the Gemini, but I feel like it's the Libra moon when it's in the Libra moon energy, based on current energy right now. The conversation, I feel like it's important to know below the surface, they've got a great energy here about just about this, fear of being abandoned, not being left behind, but like the big energy is like not being enough, not having enough, and the challenges of their self-worth um, really bubbling there for them. Um, but I like that they're on the journey of uh, bypassing, not really bypassing, but transmuting and transforming that and moving forward. Like they're getting this energy building up of wanting to change and to move forward. The conversation that you guys will have, we do have the Knight of Pentacles. That is the journey. The Knight of Pentacles is on the quest for the Ace of Pentacles, which is on a quest of their self-worth. And the Page of Wands, this new action that they're taking here. So I do feel like the conversation begins with, hey, it's been a while, with that Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles. But yeah, I'm in a new space in my life. I'm really focusing on making changes for me, kind of energy that comes in with that. We do have the Three of Wands, which talks about the change of direction that I'm taking in my life, that with new awareness of what's going on, I'm making changes and putting action. The Ace of Wands, I found my passion in life. I'm changing direction. So I feel like they are in a bit of identity awareness, not identity crisis, right? But identity awareness. And I like that this is this they're sharing the excitement of change in their life. And the Ace of Pentacles, which is new opportunity in the future. I feel like the conversation here is, they're talking about all this stuff is a way to, catch up, because they want to catch up. But the Ace of Pentacles talks about, I would love to talk more and everything if you have time to get together. This Ace of Pentacles is about wanting to create an opportunity in the future to get together. So I like that, but I feel like they're talking about the sea of change that's happening and how they're looking at their life and their worth differently in a different way. And the Ace of Pentacles is that too, energy of looking at my worth in relationship to the outside world in a different way. But it definitely feels like that this is an energy of, um, you know, ultimately that's the goal, is to reconnect, to have an opportunity to get together in person in the future. And I feel like a lot of the conversation is them saying things and waiting for your response on what you're saying and what you're um, how you're responding or reacting your comments. They're really observing your words. You're like, oh God. They're just waiting to see what you say. And you're like, but that's good. I like that energy that's coming in here regarding that. So I feel like that's the when and the what, but I feel like they're talking about changes in job. Like I'm gonna want to pursue my what I feel my calling in life is, and so I'm going back to school, or I'm taking training, or I'm doing courses. There's something that they're initiating to do to, um, go in alignment with that. It's like I'm getting out of IT and I'm going to become a masseuse. Not that that's it, but that's the kind of what they're showing me. You know, it's like there's this change, and you're like, wow. So they're going to be balancing kind of two things as they leave one to go into another, different uh, part of their life, and that they're making some significant changes in their life as well. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here. Yeah. Penance? Do they have apologies to make to you? Forgive me, sun and moon, for I have sinned. How long has it been since your last confession? You're like, well, screw the Hail Marys, not to offend anyone that's Catholic. Screw the Hail Marys. Uh, you're taking me to dinner. Anyway, let's see what they have here. So, at its core, penance represents the transformative power of accountability, remorse, and the willingness to undergo a process of inner cleansing and restitution. The praying monk evokes the profound introspection and spiritual labor required to atone for our missteps, heal the wounds we have inflicted, and restore balance within ourselves and our relationships. Uh, so if they did do things that cause some wonderful opportunities for pain for you, there could be this restitution, right? So when this card emerges, we may be called to fearlessly confront the aspects of our past that weigh heavily upon our conscience. We are urged to embrace the discomfort of sincere self-examination, acknowledging the ways in which our actions or inactions have caused harm, and committing to a path of reparation and personal growth. Penance encourages us, or them, or both, to shed the burdens of guilt, shame, and regret through acts of humble penance, whether that manifests as sincere apologies, acts of service, or a renewed dedication to living in alignment with our highest values. We are reminded that true absolution often requires us to sacrifice our pride, defensiveness, and ego-driven narratives, allowing us to be remade in the fires of accountability. Woo! Whoa, this conversation is going to be a tough one. I mean, maybe for them. At times, this card arrives as a poignant reminder that growth and evolution are born from the willingness to face our shadows, atone for our mistakes, and engage in the arduous yet liberating work of inner purification. We may be guided to embark on a period of solitude, reflection, or spiritual practice, creating the sacred space for deep healing and soul-level transformation. Ultimately, penance extends an invitation to embrace the path of humility, to courageously confront our transgressions, and to emerge renewed, like the phoenix rising from the ashes of our past selves. For it is through the crucible of penance that we shed the burdens that we have weighed upon our spirits, opening ourselves to the grace of forgiveness and the unbounded potential for redemption. Wow. That's pretty deep. All right. That's what they have for you, Sun and Moon. So you said you're going to make a donation for a follow-up. So we will look for that. All right. But that's what they have for that right now. Wow. Wow. Wow is all I could say. All right. So many blessings to you. We'll circle back around in a moment. Right. Sudeshna, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. You had 2:31:11. Look at all these ones. Boom, boom. There we go. And we'll give that a love and a like there. Right, Sudeshna. So this is about Sumita and A. All right. So let's take a look here. So you want to know about their arranged marriage match. So how's this matching with them? Let's take a look here. Get that. And then will things move forward? Okay. Don't want any of those. Will things move forward? Okay. And then will they end up getting married? Okay, that's those two. And so the meeting happened today. All right, very good. All right. Well, the bottom of the deck, or the right here, the bottom energy, underlying energies, the Seven of Pentacles. It is an energy of the last thing that grows on the fruit tree is the fruit. There's this patience energy. It seems like things are extended or are very slow with this here. Let's see here. How's the matching? We do have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords does bring in an energy of the need of clarity, seeing things from a higher perspective, from a different perspective. Feel like there is the need, we talk about expectations, right? The sword suit, a lot of it is expectations and the release of them. The Page of Swords is let go of some expectations of the Ten of Swords. The Page of Swords comes next, which is, all right, the creation of something new, seeing things differently, a different type of experience that comes in here. So I definitely feel, we're returning back to kind of some of the same energies that we've had with others, where there's a lot of expectations from both sides of the table, and it's like discussion. And I just feel like the more that we have these experiences, the more that Sumita's representatives, is that family, right? The representatives, that they will they? I feel like they'll start lightening up on some of their demands, because they're being very, this is what has to happen. If not, too bad. It just feels that way, that they're very stubborn and very determined to get their expectations met. And I feel like that's kind of what is what's needed here. That's why I feel like it draws out based on current energy. Will things move forward? The Two of Wands, it's the power of choice here. It's still undetermined here, because I feel like there's, the family, the representatives, they're reviewing these expectations based on current energy. I still feel like they're going back and forth. That's the Two of Wands, right? Well, this, but this. Well, this, but this. Well, this, but this. My energy is going back and forth between, yeah, let's do that. No, let's not. Let's not. Yes and no, and yes and no, and yes and no. Based on current energies, will they get married? We've got the Eight of Swords. Here's that letting go of and getting out of this barrier of all those expectations. The Ace of Cups is then marriage, and new love and happiness, but it does take them moving past and kind of all of the expectations and everything behind it, right? There's all of the discussion of I don't know if there's properties and monies and different things. It's like all these rules that are in place, and they're doing it for the sake of their daughter, but also the sake of themselves, because they have these what I'm supposed to do as the representative, as the parent, or if it's the parents, it just feels I'm responsible for this, and so I need to do this stuff, right? So, um, I feel like that's the energy coming in here. It's still undetermined. Um, the match feels more with that Page of Swords. It feels more of a mental relationship, um, at least in the beginning with all this. I like that we got the Ace of Cups. You know, if these expectations and things are left, eventually emotion does kick in, and there is happiness, there is emotion, but very much they're very compatible with their thoughts and beliefs, um, with the matching there, and it does end up being happiness. I don't, you know, let's see what your fortune cookie says too, but I don't feel like it's like wow, you know, it's like yeah, it would be happy. Sorry, I just shouldn't have yelled. Hold on. But let's see what we have here. Yeah, we have sundering. Look, there's that Ace of Swords. Let's see what this is. Card 40, sundering. What does that mean? I'm not super familiar. Asunder? Changing? I'm sure it'll tell us here. So, at its core, sundering represents the pivotal moments when we must harness our inner strength and clarity, uh, harness our clarity to cut the cords that have tethered us to situations, relationships, or patterns that have become restrictive and soul diminishing. There it is, the cutting away of expectations. The blade's decisive stroke evokes the unwavering resolve and commitment to self liberation that is often required to disentangle ourselves from the enmeshing ties that have constrained our expansion. The Ace of Swords, which was on the card, cuts away these small t truths that don't serve anymore. You know, there's almost like this liberation feeling, which can be, you know, even, you know, Samita, I know cultures are different, but saying, I don't want to do this. I want to find love. I don't want an arranged marriage. Whoa, if she's willing. But I feel like that's a big piece of all this is all these expectations around the arranged marriage process. There's a lot of restriction that's coming with all this. Anyway, it says when this card emerges, we may find ourselves at a crossroads, a decisive juncture where the perpetuation of our current circumstances or connections would come at the cost of our personal integrity, freedom, and authentic expression. We are called to summon the unflinching discernment to recognize what must be severed and to wield the metaphorical sword of truth with unwavering conviction. Sundering encourages us to shed the fear, doubt, or hesitation that may arise when confronted with the imperative to liberate ourselves from confining situations or toxic dynamics. We are reminded that true growth and self actualization often demand the courageous act of cutting ties with that which has become antithetical to our highest evolution, even if doing so incurs temporary upheaval or discomfort. Ultimately, sundering extends an invitation to embody the unwavering truth of our sovereign selfhood, to courageously sever the ties that bind us to limitation, inauthenticity, or the perpetuation of dynamics that are incongruent with our soul's highest callings. For it is through the decisive act of sundering that we reclaim our freedom, unleash our boundless potential, and align ourselves with the path of radical self-liberation. Freedom. So, this underlying energy, it feels like, I don't know if Sumita really in our heart wants to have an arranged marriage. But this is about, becoming that, uh, having that inner strength to ask for what we want and what we don't want, right? There was this Indian comedian. She's hilarious. Excuse me. When I saw her the other day, she said, I know you guys have escape rooms here in America. Um, and and she goes, we have escape rooms in India too. They're called arranged marriages. But and so she was being funny, but it was funny. And you guys, no, it's that's funny, but it's true, right? Anyway, but that's what they have for you for that, Sudeshna. So hopefully that brings you what you're needing there. All right. All righty. So, all right. So Moonlight, you are up. Let's grab yours. So 24206. All right. There we go. So Moonlight, thank you so much for your donation and your big smiling sticker there. So let's see here. What is your life's purpose? Are you meant to not just grow, but also be a teacher for others? That's all you want, is just, what is my life purpose? Well, all of our life purpose is to experience, right? There are things, of course, that we'd like to experience and do, but there's no like have to. There's no, this is your contract, you better do it, or there's going to be hell to pay, anything like that. It's like going to a playground and going, while at the playground, I also want to do this while I'm at the playground. And it's like, all right, we can do that, but it's the purpose of the playground is to play and experience and go on the slide, on this, to explore, to understand ourselves more. But while we're there, we can also, do other things. Let's see what else they feel here around this, around teaching. You are teaching people already just by living your life, right? But you're talking about like formally, right? Bottom of the deck, you have the Ace of Cups. Here's the journey of self-love. That's what our dream, one of the things we're on, this adventure of self-love. So a lot of it is all about, our journey of this, because, and it comes down to that, because everything in the outside world is a reflection of our self-love. So that's our priority, because anything we do in the outside world is a reflection of this. So your journey of filling up and becoming that chalice and allowing that love to fill you up first. And as you fill up, and then as it overflows out to the world, how you want to choose to share that love with the outside world is what your dream is your decision, and up to you to do that. So I do feel like that's an important, energy for you to realize that. Because there's no wrong way that you have to. There's just what way is most for you, right? What you are, how you want to express it, right? So we'll look more into here as well. Yeah. So, and you love that. So if that is your energy of this, then you follow that. So there's no wrong way. Yeah. Yeah, the King of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune that comes in here, and there's this energy here of whatever unfolds in life is always for us. And with this King of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune, it is, when we live a life of joy and gratitude of what is, then we just continue to follow our heart where it guides us, and it'll bring us, you know, bring us this feeling of fullness of life. But we won't find it in the outside world. We won't find it, out there. It starts in here. If I'm looking, going, in order for me to feel full and complete, I need to be a teacher, then that's some sort of small T truth, defining yourself by what you're doing rather than who you are. When you start with who you are, then you express that, right? So, but there's no have to. Let's see here. Do you have the Two of Pentacles? Yeah. So this is balance. This is like different ways. And I don't feel like there's two specific ways. They're just going, weigh out how you want to do that, follow it, and then because it's on your heart, it's your heart wanting to express it, right? It's your heart wanting to move forward and do it that way. It's like, here we go, let's go do this, right? But I do feel like they're saying with teaching, there are two paths that you can go. Let's see what these other three cards are. You have the Five of Pentacles, along with the Magician, which does say you have everything within you already to do that, and the Power of Choice. Yeah, you have the Chariot energy. Here's your Cancer moon energy, but it's the power of choice, and the whole thing is just to remember with the Five of Pentacles. Any beliefs about lack and not being financially able or like that I'm not capable, or I couldn't do that. I can do this, but I could never do that. To really question those beliefs, because that power of choice is, if you believe you can, you're right. If you believe you can't, you're also right. Because your choices are what are going to bring that stuff in, right? So I do feel like they're saying there's no wrong way, no right way to do things, and that if you're being guided in teaching, then go for it, because you already do teach people through your life, and we're all mirrors for each other, so we're always teaching each other things anyway, even if not formally, informally. But if you want to get into teaching things, then really, what is your passion that you want to teach and what you want to share and bring forward, right? So I like that. I like it for you. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in too. See if they bring more clarity here. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So if anything's been holding you back in the past, you can look at why haven't I acted on it already, and go, all right, well, I'm going to do it now. Well, I had this and this and this. Those are excuses, right? I like that. Let's see. Your fortune cookie says, ooh, you're on the threshold, and it's the ace again. So the magician energy, right? Action. Put it into action. Don't wait for it to come to you. This is about you stepping forward and taking action in it. So it's called The Call. This, this is number 4. Well, I'm just going to I'm just going to show you this, because the number 1 is called The Calling. Thought it was a number 1, but it's a number 4, which is a solid foundation. But I feel like they wanted me to see that. Well, it's not very clear. It's the call, the calling. I love that. We are going to read number 4, but I feel like we were supposed to go that direction for that exact reason. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let me read this to you. The symbolism of the parted curtain holds great significance, for it invites us to cross the liminal space separating our current reality from the realm of new possibilities. When the threshold appears, we're standing at the precipice of transformation, gazing toward the horizons of our potential while contemplating whether to take the leap of faith required to manifest our dreams. This card may arise when we find ourselves at a crossroads, presented with a choice that could radically shift the trajectory of our lives. A new career opportunity, a life altering relationship, a chance to relocate. The threshold signals that the time has arrived to make a definitive decision about which path to pursue. It counsels us to deeply examine our motivations and highest priorities to determine if we feel called to remain in our comfort zones or embrace the adventure of the unknown. In some cases, the threshold indicates that we have already made an internal shift, outgrowing the circumstances, beliefs, or patterns that once defined us. This card then serves as an invitation to honor our evolution by taking tangible steps to align our external reality with our inner growth and truth. We must find the courage to cross the threshold, leaving behind what has become confining or inauthentic. The threshold can also emerge during periods of significant transition, reminding us that while the path ahead may feel daunting and uncertain, we possess an innate capacity to navigate unfamiliar terrain. This card fortifies our trust in our own resilience and ability to adapt, for it is often by venturing into the unknown that we discover our greatest strengths and uncover our most profound personal transformation. Wow. You're at the threshold, baby. Well, yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. Comfort zone is already different, right? It's like it's becoming uncomfortable staying where you're at. You're wanting this change, right? So I get it. I love that. All right. So that is what they have for you, my dear. I think you have your answer. Just slightly, right? All right. So let me grab these here. And let's take a look. Let's have a few more donations here. Okay. Oops. All right. So I am headed here on 3 hours here in a moment. So the free readings I will get to today, I won't get it to it in this session. I'll be coming back this afternoon to finish those out. I have 4 donations right now, but all this water and coffee I've been drinking is demanding my attention right now. I'm going to run real quick. I'll come back. I'll finish these 4 donations in this session, and then I'll head out, and then I need to go eat and rest for a while, and then I'll come back and finish out all the free readings. But for this moment, I'll be right back. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Thank you. Much, much better. Now let's drink some more water. All right. So let us jump back in here. So, Johanna, thank you for your additional donation. Let's grab those here. We'll grab both of your timestamps together. And let me just clear that out here. Down here. All right. So thank you for your donation with your little sunglasses there. And you want to know, how have you grown in the last year? Uh-oh. All right, let's see what Spirit has here to say. We got that one there. Oh, these two came out right away. What else? How has Johanna grown? So last year we got this, and we've got this, and we'll have this. All right. Bottom energy, you've got the Chariot card, the power of choice card here. And so that is one big thing over this last year. You've really learned about that my life, like I control the story, I control my emotion, I control my energy and what I draw in, I control my actions, and I can't control others. So I feel like that is a big piece of the, the transformation and the change that's been at the catalyst of a lot of your adventure over this last year. You have the 10, not the 10, but the it's the 10 of the major arcana, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and you also grew in the way of looking at life, that you don't look at it as that life is happening to you. You look at that life is happening for you, the tune of for you. And so that's one of the things that you've really changed in, because you realized other people's choices are about them, not about me. And part of that evolution went in here like, yeah, so when things are happening, I'm not on an out of control drama train that's about to leap off the tracks and explode. I'm in control of so much of my life with my power of choice, and that things that are unfolding are always for me, even if I can't see it in the moment. So I like that this, it kind of built upon one another. Eight of Wands, you really also have tuned into your passions, but also this in picking up messages from Spirit with the Eight of Wands, but also looking at your own energy of I want to say, like, there's this energy of focusing your energy, what to do with your energy, uh, how you're allowing your energy to flow instead of holding it back as well. So I like that as well. You also have the Seven of Swords. Yeah. Of course, a lot of awareness around old thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that used to feel like they were deceiving you. They were keeping you from acting on things and doing things because of some old beliefs. So things that would have held you back before, you freed yourself from these limiting beliefs and gained a lot of clarity around your life on what you do want to do and what you don't want to do, and the things you were doing because you felt you were supposed to. But going back to that power of choice, you're realizing, I get to live my own dream. I don't have to live someone else's dream. So I like that. Hierophant. I like this energy too. It's your learning to really tune into your higher self, because your higher self has you see things from a higher perspective and teaches you things. It's like you uh, obtained it's like a mentor in a way. It's like your higher self became this mentor for you throughout this last year, because you really connected with yourself, your true self, this last year in ways that have really springboarded you from other, you've known about your spirituality for a long time, but this last year just feels like a springboard where it really took you to a new level where you just developed this close relationship with your true self energy. So I like that. And then, yeah, the World card, victory. It's a significant ending of an old cycle, beginning of new adventure. A life with a lot of less expectations on supposed to's, and looking at your life as more of a world of possibilities instead of, being something that's so restrictive and so, scrunched up and confined. So I feel like freedom is a big kind of theme of this last year. You learned your freedom. And I like that. So I feel like that's what they have for you for that one. Uh, so thank you again for your additional donation, and happy birthday. Some great reflection to think on those subjects. Of course, that's not everything you learned, but those are some big heavy hitters that really brought transformation into your life. So I like that for you. Right. So many blessings to you. That is what they have for you, my dear. Happy birthday. All right. And then Sun and Moon, we're circling back around for your additional one. Oh, 303. Love it. Okay, let me remove that one here. All right. So, Sun and Moon, thank you for your additional donation. And let's see. Down here. There it is. Sneak peek part 2. That is funny. So as Sagittarius battles between the head and the heart, what does Spirit see unfolding after your conversation at the end of August? Also, the reading on how things continue to unfold through September. Okay, very good. You are very welcome. Thank you so much. Let's take a look here. All right. So what unfolds? Well, into September, throughout September, because it's going to be like the end of August. So really, it's almost like the beginning of September already. So that makes sense. Just right after that, and then what unfolds and with all this. Let's take a look here. So based on current energies, which, oh, of course, that's that moving target energy, right? So I feel like they're constantly in this move and transition here. Okay, this one here. Okay. So we do have the Empress card here. So the journey does continue here. Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, they are focusing on their Ace of Cups, finding their self-love there. So this nurturing happens, this I'm deciding for me energy instead of what I felt was expected of me, and kind of living my life by other people's the fear of letting down other people, and that energy. But there's also birthing and sensuality and things that happen here. So it is the birthing of things. It is the beginning of something. Let's see what comes in here. We have the High Priestess. So there is still a little bit of time of them, being pulled back, trying to see things from a higher perspective, looking behind the veil, diving deep into the emotions, really seeking clarity and understanding. And there is, with the High Priestess, she's the revealer of the hidden, not secrets in this case, but of the hidden, the things that I may not have said before, shared before. Things do come to light, things do come to the surface, both for them about their lives, but also I feel like they shared those things before. They were like, I realized why I did this because of this. Just some awareness that they're experiencing and that they're sharing, um, realizations about things in their life. So I feel like they're sharing things they hadn't shared before because they were afraid to share it before. Ten of Cups, yeah. So there is joy that comes in here. Ten of Cups is an energy, of course, of fullness of heart, full and overflowing emotion. So whereas before they might have been a little more passionate rather than emotional, I feel like they bring in the emotional piece first. And I feel like this is the communication that happens. Perhaps you guys do a bit of talking before you meet in person that comes in with this. And, we do, you know, see that coming in here. We have the Two of Pentacles. So here is this balancing energy that's here, with underneath that, yep, the Devil card. So it does unfold here. I feel like they are taking the time here to really get to know who they are, and um, to do kind of the Saturn return energy where I'm questioning a lot of long held beliefs and thoughts around things. But I'm balancing that. And I feel like on one hand, I'm working on this, but on the other one, I do want to begin and interact with you. But it's not going to be all this or all that. They're trying to do both at the same time. So it's not going to, I don't feel like it's going to be super, super fast leaping into something. I feel like they want to begin conversations, begin interactions while they're also clearing away this stuff, realizing that a pattern of theirs was leaping before thinking. And now I'm going to move slow, because something slowly built lasts. Something quickly built quickly falls apart. So I feel like they learn this cycle and pattern of theirs, and this is what they're looking at doing. That's interesting. All right, let's see what else unfolds here. Yeah, we've got the Leo, the courage energy that's coming in here. And yeah, and at the same time, we've got the Justice card. This is kind of echoing that same kind of message in a way, because it is, wow, working on releasing my old thoughts and seeing things differently and achieving this balance. um, I'm also acting on my passions with this Leo energy, because it is inner child work, but it is also, it's like I want to allow my inner child to have play dates and to move forward. So I like that energy here, because I feel like they're like, yeah. I'm doing all this mental work, but I'm also allowing my heart and my passions to be expressed, but balanced. And they're like, this is new for them. Right? And the moon. So here's all that emotional moon energy that's flowing in here, and flowing out. So again, this is energy like the high priestess, like emotions being revealed, things that are held below the surface that are making themselves known. And I feel like that's what they want to do. And I'm reminded with the Empress, because it is like birthing energy, but it's, pregnancy. Um, I'm sure you guys all know this. It lasts like 9 months, usually, give or take. And so there is time for it to grow, and not for something not to be born prematurely, but to be born healthy. And I feel like that's what they want to do this time, because there's like this energy underneath of doing it right, if that makes sense. So I do feel like that's conversations they do want to see in person, eventually, but I feel like you guys get to know each other more. That's why the heart gets shared, because in person, if you meet too soon, it might fall into intimacy instead of um, emotional connection. And that's what I'm feeling right now with the energy. It's more talking, communicating, and this becomes the foundation of where you guys head. So interesting. But that's what they have for you for that one, sun and moon. I know. All right. So thank you again for your additional donation. All right. Boom, boom. And then Sudeshna, you are up. Let's see, we got 131203 for that one, right? Yeah. So let's grab that here. Thank you for your additional donation. Ooh, this one lets me give it a love and a like. So thank you for this additional one here. All right, and then you're working in a company. Oh, and I'm sorry, just before I jump in here, Sudeshna, someone was asking. I haven't done any free readings. So for anyone that has been looking for their free reading, I did not complete any of those, and I won't complete them in this session. After Moonlight and after Alice, those are the donations. I'm going to end the session there, but I'm going to go eat and rest a little while, and then I'll come back on and complete out all of the free readings. So after I'm done with the session, I do post a pinned comment with all of the names with the timestamps so that you can click on it and go directly to your reading. But I'll eventually get to it today as long as it's in the chat, and then I will return. So that's for everybody. So thanks for asking that. It's good for everyone to know as we're heading toward our ending of this session here. All right. So, Sudeshna, you're currently working in a company. How will be the upcoming time in your career? So, based on current energies, how's the time going to be here? How will the work be? And everything else in the job. Job will be fine and stable. Let's just ask for that specifically here. All right, let's take a look and see what we have going on here. We have the Four of Wands on the bottom of the deck, which is a joy and celebration type of energy. I do feel like that. I don't feel like that represents this job for you. We'll look at how your job is going to go here, but I feel like they're starting off going. The underlying energy, I do feel like they're drawing you, and I feel like we've been hearing that through your career readings, that there's something more. If you follow your joy, it would take you in a different direction with a different company that you would love, and it would bring you joy. So be on the lookout. Close your eyes, open your heart, follow your heart. Where's it leading you? Because I feel like that can definitely, take you somewhere different that does bring you more of that type of energy there. All right. But let's see here. Let's start with will this job be fine and stable? You have the King of Swords that's here, which they're actually the master of mindset and thinking. I feel like your job, for it to be stable, you would definitely have to have more education and more specialization. I feel like there's going to be some changes that eventually will happen where because I feel like they're thinning down the workforce, and so they're doubling up and having a lot of people do different things, and the people that have more skills are kept on, and the people with less skills start dropping off. And so it's like for you to stay ahead of it's like a treadmill where there's a drop off. It's like to stay ahead, you have to, have some additional education or training when it comes to that there. So how will the work and everything else be in the meantime? Yeah, we have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is expectations, the nightmares and insomnia. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of, like they're talking about, this thinning out of the workforce brings a lot more pressure, a lot more expectations, a lot more of you got to do this, you got to do this. The bar's being raised and raised and raised and raised, and you're like, oh my gosh. So I feel like it does ignite a little bit of fear in you about, the supposed to be's and should be's, and I don't want to fail, I don't want to not meet expectations. But I feel like that's kind of what is part of what's happening um, in that. You have the Five of Cups too, which does represent some lower vibration emotions, which makes sense with all this. I feel like they're stressed. They're not focusing on rewarding people for the great job they're doing. They're focusing in on, with that Nine of Swords, what is not being done, what needs to be done more. Here, we need to do this too. And it's like, well, I put in all this time and did all this stuff, but they don't go like, great job. They're like, well, you need to do this now, and we need that done tomorrow. And you're just like, well, can we celebrate for 2 seconds of what I just did? Because it was amazing. And they're like, I don't feel like it's that type of company. That's why I feel like with this Four of Wands, it's finding someone who's more in alignment with who you are and where you're at. It's like finding your tribe, finding your people, someone that a group that you more are cohesive with. This just feels a little bit conflicting, I would say. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah. So ultimately, you have the Ace of Cups, following your heart. I feel like because these three were up here, and then we have this one down here, which kind of reiterates what's on the bottom of the deck. So I definitely feel like there's this energy of you can exit the building. You don't have to run because the building's not on fire yet. Figuratively, you can walk. You can walk out. You can go find this other thing. But so be on the lookout. I really feel like they're saying you can. It's going to take so much to stay in that company. And if you want to torture yourself, be my guest, right? That's our adventure. There's no wrong choice, just different choices with different experiences, different outcomes. But I don't feel like this one is a good long-term place for you. So I would be looking somewhere, because there's somewhere that you'll have joy. Why not look for that, right? So that's what they have for you, Sudeshna. So many blessings to you. Thank you again for your multiple donations. All right. And then lastly but not leastly, we do have Alice. Look, you had 31919. Boom, boom. So thank you for your donation and the kitty cat. I love kitty cats. So thank you for that. So thank you so much. So what's RJ doing today, and why is he not double texting you? All right, let's take a look here. What is going on with them? All right, let me try that again. That was a poor shuffle. There we go. All right. So RJ, let's tap into their energy. What is RJ doing today? And why is he not double texting back? All right. That's what we have there. Yeah, we've got this Seven of Swords. Here's that Swords energy again. There is this, and even underneath that, we've got the Devil card, which the Devil card is an energy of mental questioning and long-held beliefs, and just the shaking and this rattling of their mental cage. And the Seven of Swords is the same. It's mental conflict. It's becoming aware of my own thoughts and beliefs, and that are betraying myself, and this kind of energy. But it does feel here, I mean, I know they were like, it felt like they had a migraine and their head was hurting yesterday. it feels like there is mental mind brain stuff going on today where I just feel like they're not doing well mentally, and it could be migraine and that, but I feel like it's more, I feel like they're just, what is the word that I'm looking for, because I just feel challenged is kind of the word, challenged. I feel at odds in my brain, and conflicted. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Conflicted, that we have there. So I don't. Um, I feel like that's just an underlying energy to know with all of that, and it's not directly with you. This is just the state of their being right now. Um, why aren't they contacting you back? We have the Seven of Pentacles. This is the last thing that grows on the fruit tree is the fruit. They're in very much slow mode. And with that two sevens, all this energy, they just feel like they're very slow and um, moving. And I just feel mentally drained or mentally stressed, mentally incapacitated in a way. Let's find out what's going on here. Um, this was the asking the question, what are they doing today? They're in slow mo. It's like, ooh. So I feel like they might be sick or under the weather, or like we felt yesterday, but it just feels very slow in moving forward on things with that the Seven of Pentacles. Why aren't they texting you back? Let's take a look. Yeah, the Four of Swords, card of rest, mental, trying to find mental rest, trying to find peace of mind, but it feels like I'm resting my mind, I'm resting everything. Ten of Swords, yeah, all that extreme expectations and mental energy that's happening here. Four of Cups, again, stable emotions. There's all this for stable energy that's coming in. Yeah, the Ace of Wands is action. What is this action? And the Six of Swords. They've got all of this mental energy that's happening here. I feel after they rest for a little while that they will. The Ace of Wands is an action energy, and the Six of Swords is also an communication action energy. So I do feel like they will respond and be more active in responding here. But I feel like today, if they haven't responded today, that's odd, because I felt like they were going to at least respond, but I just feel like the texting and all that, they're just tired and they're just all consumed with their mind and their brain and their head right now. But I do feel like there will be communication with the Ace of Wands and Six of Swords, but kind of this energy of being patient. Now, the Seven of Pentacles, that's the reason why the human isn't. But for you, for your purpose, like, if we're asking, what's the purpose? Why am I experiencing? They're not responding to me. When we get the Seven of Pentacles, there is that energy um, I'm things are not happening fast for me to give me the opportunity to grow, to raise my own personal love vibration by going, what am I experiencing? What is going on with me while I'm not, like, during someone's actions or non-actions, their words or their silence, what comes up within me that gives me the time to look at that and go, oh, okay, what am I fearing? What's at the root of that fear? It helps me understand things. So there is always a reason why it's happening for us from the big picture, and then there's a reason why the human is doing what they're doing. So if we can step back out of, okay, let me for a moment put that on pause of wondering, why are they not doing? It's like that's just the tool that's providing this opportunity for you. So you come back to you, going, because you can't control what's going on over there anyway, but it's coming back to you and going, why did I want this to happen for me? So that's what they want. We're also going to pull a fortune cookie here. Let's see what else they'll tell you here about what's going on with RJ here. Yeah, we have treasure. Card number 13. They're deep in the cave. What are you doing down there? Digging for treasure? Let's see here. At its core, the treasure speaks to the inevitable harvest we reap by staying true to our journeys, facing our shadows, and embodying the courage to continually birth our most authentic selves. The glimmering idol symbolizes the precious gifts: wisdom, self-realization, sovereignty, soul integration that are bestowed upon the heroic traveler who weathers the road's upheavals. Like the overgrown temple surrounding the treasure, these sublime rewards often remain concealed until we traverse the difficult terrain, overcome our demons and obstacles, and then arrive at the sacred center. So this is what they're going through. They're trying to do that, but this is also the opportunity for you. So you're both on this energy of doing this, right? The treasure reminds us that each challenge is an invitation to forge our integrity and deepen our connection to our callings, incrementally stripping away the illusory and revealing our most brilliant essence. So when this card emerges, we may find ourselves being initiated into the next level of our soul's journey, having demonstrated the fortitude and commitment to self-mastery through our recent trials. The treasure could represent the achievement of a long-sought goal, the culmination of efforts on meaningful quest, or a new level of abundance, fulfillment, and self-actualization emerging. At times, the treasure arrives as an affirmation that we are on the precipice of a great inner birth or a life passage. Our resolute persistence has opened the path to profound awakenings, revelations, and new thresholds of integrity and authenticity. So the situation that's happening for them is bringing them awareness. Situation for you is bringing you. All right. So I will double check. It said that the connection was weak and unstable. So hopefully, I'm not sure when, if it disconnected or not on everyone, but I will double check. I am ending the session right now. I did complete all of donations. And I don't know, Alice, last time we did your reading is when the internet went out. Well, you've done other ones since then too. But that was like, why you? But we'll see. I'll make sure that we did, that it fully did record all of your reading. If not, um, I will redo a reading for you regarding it all. But I have captured all of the chat. I'm gonna head off and go eat, and then once I eat and rest for a little bit, I'll come back on and I'll finish out all of the free readings from this morning's session. So thank you guys again for all your patience and getting to your readings. And I'm so grateful for all the love and all support. Remember, as you're going through your adventure, this human adventure, every second of every day of our life, we truly are eternally and unconditionally loved by the Mother and the Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you too. So until I see you guys again, much love. Hang in there. Take care of yourself. And we'll see you soon.